with that said, let's get started with I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. A game where I know we're going to play through, 10 years of a character's life. There's a bunch of romanceable choices, and I can easily be swayed by the chat. Various choices in general that I can be swayed by the chat. And though, keep pacing going, I might just choose things by myself from time to time if the choices are quite obvious or there's one I really want. I also know the game has a bunch of endings, and a single ending takes about 10 hours to get to. So while I was requested to do a full playthrough, we'll see how things go and if people want to see more of the game. Anyway, I hope you all enjoy and we all have fun. Also, I will apologize in advance, Tuna. If there's a bully with a heart of gold type romance character, you'll likely have to play on your own to see that path, as I will rarely ever willingly go after the bully. Alright, time to start up a new game. Wake up. Warning, the game deals with mature subjects that may not be suitable for all players. To see the content warnings in the system menu for a detailed list of themes and events. We're already past the system menu. You wake to chaos, a confusion of light and heat and smoke. Your head is pounding. You must have hit and blacked out. But you aren't sure how you got here, or what Fortuna is happening. There's something important you need to remember. Your stomach lurches as the floor crumbles between your feet, then collapses. Your body aches, and your eyes burn from the smoke. A figure appears through the flames. It's your friend. Your friend? Wait, why can't you remember her name? She's gesturing and shouting at you. All you hear is a ringing in your ears. What's going on? My mom? Let's go with what's going on. You try to speak, but the words come out jumbled. Your throat seizes around a lungful of choking smoke. You feel dizzy and confused. Your friend pulls you out of the rumble. She throws your arm over her shoulder and half drags you towards the door. Through it, you see a deep, airy twilight, dark blue, the cold against the heat of the fire around you. Glow season. Glowing eyes. You shake your head to clear your vision. Is that some kind of dog? Like from Earth? The creature howls and lunges, its jaws open. You were born on the Stratospheric, Earth's first colony ship, halfway through its 20-year voyage to a wormhole at the edge of the Sol system. Your parents run the hydroponic gardens, which make fresh air and vegetables for the ship. Like the other colonists, they bravely chose to make this one-way journey to the uncharted planet of Alterma at 4 in hope they could escape Earth's troubles. They had you the old-fashioned way, merging their genes like they merged the cultures and traditions. They name you. Let's go with Solane. You are a bright-eyed child with an active imagination, sometimes too active, your mom says. We're going to use the mouse real quick. Androgynous. You have vivid dreams, things you never experienced. Dirt under your feet, skies overhead, endless jungles and strange animals. I wonder if this is what Fortuna will be like. Every child on the Stratospheric is given one genetic enhancement. By age 6, you see the first signs of yours. Eagle eyes, extra fingers, exorbitant brain, super strength, calm temperament, nothing at all. Let's just go with absorbent brain. Professor Howell says kids learn fast because their brains are like sponges. But when people get older, they can't absorb as much new stuff. Not for you. You're always learning, and your curiosity knows no end. The other kids have trouble keeping up with you, but one tries. Energetic and loyal Nome, gentle Cal, bold and confident Mars, quiet and adventurous Diz, stupendous and mature Tangjip, sweet and shy Tammy. Let's just go with the quiet one. Like his studious twin sisters, Tangent, Diz sits back in the classroom and doodles on his holopalm, bound while cracking jokes about the word diagrams in your textbooks. Quiet natures and morbid curiosity make him somewhat of a loner. At least he has a friend in you. Yeah, sure, that sounds fun. You're 10 years old when the ship finally reaches a wormhole. Professor Hal says it's like a doorway to the other star systems. Planet Vertumen 4 on the other side. You run emergency drills for months to prepare. The day finally comes, it starts with a rumble, and things start to slide off the tables. You hurry gather near the escape pods just in case. The emergency area is crowded with families. It's going to be fine, Selene, your dad soothes. We'll be through this wormhole and down the planet before you know it, just like we've practiced. Mom gives him a sharp, worried look. The red emergency lights switch on as a siren begins to sound somewhere distant in the ship. You try to breathe slowly like you were taught, but you're very scared. You look at the porthole, the stars are gone. When you're frightened, you try to be brave for others, try to get in touch with your emotions, or you can't choose that one. Let's try to be brave. Sometimes you pretend to be confident so people around you will be less scared. You look over at your classmate's Tang and realize she's doing the same thing. She gives you a hard smile. You return it and keep focusing on your breathing. 1 second, I just need to check something. You wait. The shaking builds. Everything starts getting very weird. The hallway stretches, and you're stretching too, your arms impossibly long. Your head feels like it's slowly filling up like a balloon contracting down to the size of an atom at the same time. Is this a wormhole? You hear the distant ominous squeal of metal giving way as the ship shudders and lurches in slow motion. The worst part is a sense of deja vu. You're sure this has happened to you before, and you know, somehow, that everything is going to be okay. The shuddering reaches a crescendo. You hear an impossibly loud crunch and feel weightless for a few seconds before gravity slams you back against the wall head first. You black out. You slip unconscious, you feel yourself twisted out of time. It's today, yesterday, and tomorrow all at once. And more than just one tomorrow. Lots of them. Different tomorrows. You find yourself in a place you know from your dreams. Tilled fields, dramatic ridges, and stranger, but also not a stranger, grooming as she grabs your hand. Hurry up, she says. I'm not going to let you miss this. Distantly, you feel the ship shaking and stop, and you hear your parents' worried voices. Feeling safe, you slip further into the warm embrace of the stars. You drift. Gradually, your consciousness reforms. You wake up in the medbay. Your medbay, under you plays the soft tone and automated voice space. 2 weeks have elapsed. The patient's cranial injury has completed healing. It may now safely be discharged. As the fog lifts from your head, you realize something different from this room. It's so bright. Try to focus on the window. Something's definitely different. Sunlight? Trees? Ground? Ground's fun. Instead of the familiar blackness of space, bright light from twin blue and yellow suns streaming through the windows. You peer out and see grass, walled domes, walls ringed by giant mushroom-like trees. There's construction materials everywhere and people walking around outside on the ground. And, hello, Metal. You better get outside there and join them. Rush outside and start my new life. Cautiously step outside. Let's just rush out. Yay, I can run. Oh, Tammy jumps up as you step out of the ship's quarters behind her. You're awake. Are you all better? You better go see your dad. She points southeast towards some geodesic domes. To walk, click on the ground. I'm using controller. Click on characters to talk to them. Circles. Tammy looks concerned. You slept for so long after you bumped your head, she says. I bet your parents are worried. Your dad is working over at the geoponics near the domes. They're called greenhouses. I'd go with you, but this is as far as I've been from the ship since we landed. Tammy stares, blushing. It's scary outside. There's my dad. So Lane, your dad gives you a big warm hug. I'm so happy you're finally awake. Dr. Instance thought I'd be best if he kept you sleeping while your noggin healed. Your mother and I thought you might sleep away the whole year, you snoozy little gooseberry. He checks your head and looks relieved. He was clearly very worried about you, but covers it up with jokes and smiles. Aw, love you, Dad. He's so embarrassing. Yeah, let's be full of love. Welcome to Fortuna, he says, gesturing around you. You've never seen the stratospheric from the outside, except in pictures. The ship has been separated in two, and parts taken off to form other buildings and a big wall around the whole colony. The alien juggle creeps out to the wall. Only the geodesic greenhouses pass outside it, dotting their way up the hill. Beautiful? How did you do this so fast? What's outside the walls? Simple answers. I'm glad you agree, he says. Your mother and I, we've been waiting a long time to see the grass and trees again, even if they are purple. Oh, before I forget, he pulls a package out of his satchel and hands it to you. You blink and stare at it blankly. Don't you know what day it is? He asks. You honestly don't. You remind him that you've been asleep in the medbay. Happy birthday! He shouts, wrapping you in a warm hug. Your birthday already, you feel a dizzying sense of deja vu. You stare hard at the wrapped package. You know exactly what's in there. You remember it. No, you dreamed about this package some years ago on the ship. Inside will be a small medallion in the shape of the sun that your dad made by hand. Open the package, tell him what you know is in it. Don't open the package. Let's mess with our dad. You describe the medallion, and your dad tisks as he hands you the package. Aw, remember the surprise. Was it Seek? I bet you it was Seek. They hate fun. He grins and adds, Don't tell him I said that. You start to explain that nobody told you, but someone shouts your dad's name. Listen, I'm so sorry, Selene, he says, but we gotta get back to work. There's an accident when we landed and... He stops himself. Don't worry, we're gonna fix it, your mother and I. Professor Hal's expecting you in classes, if you're feeling up to it. Your dad says, pointing west to the engineering ring in the rear end of the bisected ship. Then he points to the large doors you came out of earlier. Or you can relax in our quarters until you're feeling better. We'll talk tonight, he says, then kisses the top of your head and ruffles your head. Have a wonderful day, Selene. I love you. Love you too, Dad. Give him a thumbs up. Like I said, big and full of love. To enter buildings, do some stuff. We have to choose an activity for the month to gain skills and advance time. There's 13 months to a year and 10 years to the end of the game. Thus, we only have time to focus on a few things. Let's talk to Diz. You see Diz sitting on the ground beside some bushes. Is he hiding from somebody? He seems to be watching the gate in the wall to the south, where the grown-ups are coming and going. Kids aren't allowed past the walls, he says quietly without looking up. They say there's nothing to be afraid of, but why do we need walls? You stare at the gate and you have a sudden rush of memory so strong you think you might faint. Imagine something crashing through the wall, something enormous and dark and wriggly. For years in space, you have half-remembered nightmares of monsters, of your ship being destroyed, of sifting through wreckage that used to be your home trying to find something. Your dad always told you the dreams weren't real. Breaking from your daydream just whispers, I think there's monsters out there. I believe you, stop making things up, our parents will keep us safe. I'll believe him. No you don't, he says. You're being sarcastic, I can tell. Nobody believes me. He turns his back and ignores you. Let's just go with they're huge and wriggly and dangerous. Stop making fun of me, Dismouse. You're as bad as Mars. Fine, don't believe in the power of friendship. The person I always screw the name up. Hey, Selene. Namine seems really at home here. She's rolling a sports ball with her foot and making patterns in the words blue snow. Stuff is different from the snow on Earth, she tells you, because it isn't cold, but it's still neat and you can make stuff out of it. Your foggy head clears a little. Hanamine is simple, physical, real. You always feel grounded near her. What are you making? Have you seen any monsters? Aren't you in school? See you later. let's just go. What are you making? Just snow spirals, she says. Earlier, me and Cal made a big snow pile. You missed me when we were sleeping in the medbay. She smiles her broad gap to smile at you. Now that you're awake, we can play. Have you seen any monsters? No, just some little bugs. The grown-ups would say if they were monsters, right? She shrugs and smiles reassuringly. Even if there were monsters, Chief Rat would beat them all up. So don't worry. My mom says if we're safer here than in space. You both look up at the wreckage of Stratosphere spaceship reborn. Anemone's mom, Aunt Cedent, is probably right about that. Look what the wormhole did to your ship. Aren't you in school? She smacks her forehead. School! I wondered where everybody was. I guess I'm going to be late for humanities class. She doesn't look very worried to you. It's okay, she says. Professor Hal is chill. He won't mind, but we should probably go now. She grins and starts running towards engineering. Hey, race you! No fair. She's getting a head start. Hi, Mala. And, yep, new outfit, Jenna. Is this engineering? What is this? The garrison. Small team left by Security Chief Rat was enough to keep the peace on the Stratosphere. To stay busy, they also ran exercise room and sports ball courts. Here in Virtuma, the garrison has expanded fast. They're building a huge wall around the colony and have outdoor firing range and big covered dojo. And best of all, a regulation-sized sports ball court. You're engineering. Alright. A low throbbing noise comes from the engine room, which provides you power from the colony. Other corridors lead off to teaching labs and medbay. You know the route to your classroom well, but the rest of the wing is off limits to children. Congruence, the ship's onboard AI, beams down to you from a nearby holoscreen. Don't forget to study hard, Selene. Pick an activity to do. Study life sciences, study humanities. Biology or creativity. We will just become more creative, I guess. Welcome, Selene, Professor Hal greets you. I hope you're all warmed up and ready to study the glorious humanities. History, literature, language, media, and philosophy. And yes, if you're lucky, we'll have a little ancient earth poetry too. He seems excited about the last bit. By the way, if anyone is interested in taking engineering classes, please register through the Congruence scheduling system when you have the chance. She's helping me teach them. Today's assignment is an easy one, Hal says with a yawn. Because I was up late repairing Congruence's terminal, I could use a nap. I'd like you to write an essay on what the Virtuma colony means to you. Freedom, equality, democracy. My friends are all here. I feel safe here. Just doodle instead of writing. Let's just continue the love train and go with loving our friends. You write all about your buds and the fun things you do together. When Hal wakes up from his nap, he asks for a few students to read their essays in class. Mars is annoyed that you hardly mention her. Well, you aren't really friends, so... When you work to go to class, you play a quick card challenge as the month passes. Move cards to fill the 5 planes to make the best hand you can. Yes, order matters. If the total in your circle right meets the skill total, you win. Depending on your cards, some challenges can't be won, but you still get rewarded for doing your best. Bonuses for flushes. Same color together. Bonuses for pairs. Same number together. Bonuses for straights, increasing from right to left. The more cards in the flush pair of straight, the higher bonus cards total. Cards can also affect each other and can be arranged to find the best total score. I have all blue. And it looks like probably pretty simple. Just like this. Your skills increase when you work or go to school. With extra skills, you win the challenge, and kudos bonus if you make the highest scoring hand with your cards. Working also increases stress, which prevents you from working if it reaches 100. To relieve stress, take a month off to relax in the quarters ring. Your parents have been working from first dawn to well after dinner every day. You know, growing food is an important job, and it's vital to get crops in the ground right away, but there seems to be something more than that. It's such a change from growing up in the Stratosphere when you saw them all the time. You stay up and wait for them night before going to bed, but you can tell they're exhausted. They can afford to spend time with you. I'm sorry we haven't seen much of you, little gooseberry, your dad says. Your mom watches as she works the pebble out of her garden tiller. Joff serves a crutch. How have you been holding up? I learned some stuff in school. School is so boring. Yeah. I learned some stuff in school. I'm glad to hear that, your mom says. I want you to study hard, work hard, and stay out of trouble. Your dad smiles. Professor Howe will give you kudos if you get good grades. You can spend those at the depot once it's open. You know, says your dad, raising an eyebrow at your mom. I think there's a lot of different ways to learn. School's just one of them. You can learn it from working on a hobby or by helping a friend. Your mom shakes her head and sighs. You can tell she's just trying to put on a gentle expression. We both agree this colony is an experiment, and that means we're going to do things on Earth. You're old enough now to start making your own decisions about your education and future. Reminder, I'm 10. And if that means you want to find your own way, we'll gladly accept that. Your dad puts a hand on your shoulder. We'll be proud of you no matter what you do. Try talking to your friends. They may have ideas of how you can spend your time. Come by Geoponics, your mom adds. We could use your help. So yeah, I also like the character designs here. I don't know if they're doing anything new right now. I did cheat a little bit for the purposes of this. I didn't go completely blind into this. I did look up some of the characters and their names to try to not butcher the names completely. And I will say, Tuna, there are definitely a couple of character designs you will absolutely adore. I don't know if we'll run into one of the guys, but he is very cute. But that is why I knew I would be screwing up her name all the time. Anamane is bumping sports ball with her wrist, trying to keep it in the air. Heads up, she shouts, and bumps the ball in the direction. Think fast. I can't do a trick. Bounce it back. Look out! A ball is flying towards you. Yeah, we could try to bounce it. You bounce the ball back and forth with her, trying to see how many times you can rally and keep it going. Anamane tells you about a sports ball court, proper exercise court, way bigger than the little 0G one on the Stratosphere. Her brother Com is coaching the junior sports ball team this year. He's so great, she says. He's good at everything, especially spiking. He's coaching me to play awesome like him. You should come join us. Unlock sports ball in the garrison. And just one moment. Anyone else to talk to? No. Dad and Mom. Hello, my little potato, your dad exclaims, smiling warmly. What have you been up to today? Just hanging with my friends, staying in. It's cold out here, playing with fresh air. Sticking with the power of friendship, too. That Cal's a good boy. I don't think I've met Cal yet. Have you seen Anamane? She's been out by the garrison playing sports ball. I think she's spent every day outside since we've landed. He chuckles as well. Guess that's what happened when you've got enough brothers to make your own sports ball team. He breathes deeply and slowly around. Your tomb is magnificent, isn't it? You nod. Seasons, he shouts, throwing his hands wide. I miss seasons! Back on Earth, it got much colder and the snow wasn't half as pretty as our spark snow. He sighs, stretching. You just wait until dust season when both suns will be high in the sky and it'll be real hot then, you'll see. You find your mom hard at work setting up greenhouses with a small construction crew. You've seen these plans pinned to the wall of your family's quarters for years now. These geodesic domes will house more delicate plants from Earth, spinach, tomatoes, maybe even fruit. She takes a swig from her canteen as you approach. Looking for something to do, she asks. Remember, Selene, you're responsible for your own schedule now that we've landed. You can decide how to spend your time, so long as it's productive. She points towards the engineering wing in the back half of the Stratosphere's severed frame. Professor Kyle's still expecting you in class, but a well-rounded education includes practical application. You're old enough to help with the work around here. She claps her hand on her shoulder. I've got a minute. Anything you need to know? That's a lot of choices. What are you doing in geoponics? What's happening in engineering? What can I do in the quarters? What's the garrison? What's going on in command? Can I join expeditions? No, I'm good. Can I join expeditions? Oh, you're too young to leave the colony. It's dangerous, she shakes her head. Your father would be worried. Not you, huh? There's so much we don't know about the world out there. Let the adults find out, then maybe you can join them in a few years when you're older. She gives you a stern look. She isn't going to budge on this one. For now, stay inside the wall. We'll leave this alone for now. And you are Mars, correct? A sharp whistle interrupts your thoughts. Hey, Selene, Mars calls out to you. Come here, I have a job for you. You walk up into Mars, who's sheltering from the snow underneath the ship's overhang. It's so gross here, she complains. Spark snow would ruin my good clothes. At least on the ship we had climate control. Ugh. Tammy made me some soy sweets, but there was no way I'm going to out there all in this weather, she continues. Since you're like running around in it, could you fetch them for me? Don't love being her little gopher, but power of friendship. Okay. Good, Mars claps. She's probably just down the hill near their quarters. Mars sighs. She's scared to take more than a few steps from the door. All she wants to do is hide inside and make sweets. Tammy is staring obliviously at the sky, smiling at her. She startles as you approach. Oh, hello, Selene, she says, putting her hand to her chest. Do you need something? I'm here for Mars's soy sweets. Tammy smiles for you. Oh, it's so nice you help Mars. She's a very important person, you know. She hands you a box wrapped in pink and yellow scarf. One order of mango soy sweets made fresh this morning, she says. Please tell Mars that she can have the scarf back, okay? She used some of her kudos to nanoprint it for me because it's so dusty here. But I think I'm getting used to it now. Tammy smiles again and tucks her hair behind her big elven ears. Mars is so cool, she says fondly. Sometimes she's kind of bossy, but I know she really cares too. Mars puts her hand out expectantly. Oh, I don't have high enough persuasion to try to get some. Just hand it to her. Hand over the box of soy sweets with a smile. Mars takes and giggles. You're such a good sidekick, doing everything I say. She opens the box and hands you a soy sweet. Your tips, she tells you. Oh, and Mr. Seek's looking for someone to do delivery jobs at the depot, she says. I don't want to do it, because, like, you running around there. No. Just go through here, she says, gesturing to the door behind her, and tell her I refer them. Delivery, sports. Just continue our education for now. Same stuff as before up there, so we'll just go with this. This month you decided to explore pre-holographic media on Earth, which is a pretty great excuse to kick back and watch movies all day. It's hard to believe that movies used to be 2D. Boring. Feels too much like learning to be fun. My stress is getting up there, huh? This week, you had a few more bouts of deja vu, remembering what somebody is about to say or do just before they do it. Sometimes they actually do it, but not always. This morning, you were sure Professor Howell was going to trip on the uneven floor in the cafeteria and spill his plate of hash browns. You even told Mars to watch. He didn't, though. As Professor Howell washed away his hash browns safe for today, Mars called you a liar and a dummy. At night, your dreams are all mixed up with stuff that you know can't be real. You're chased by monsters the size of buildings only to be saved by strange people you never met. You're holding hands with someone you love. You're crying as you help lift a shrouded body into a colony of recycled room. Everything seems so familiar, but when you try to recall their faces when you wake up, they're smeared in your memory like wet paint. But what if those things haven't happened yet, but they will someday? Anytime you try to tell someone, they think you're playing a trick, or that you're sick, or you need to go to medbay. You eventually decide to stay quiet about your strange dreams. Why? You don't want people to worry, you just want to be normal. Secret powers are fun. Friendship and love. Don't want people to worry. Parents have so much on their minds already. You have a feeling that something is happening at Geoponics that they don't want you to know. You don't understand it, but when they come here home at night, they look really sad. You don't want to make that worse. You just keep going to classes and staying out of trouble. It'll be easier for everyone, yourself included. Tangent is hunched over her holopalm, frowning and poking angrily in the air. She speaks without looking up at you. Professor Howe wants us to prep a list of native flora with pictures. There should be a catalog on the Colony Holonet, but I can't find it anywhere. Lance, try looking outside. I'll help you find that catalog. Let's make our own list. This seems to be the power of friendship choice. You launch your own holopalm and start searching the colony's Holonet archives for a list of eternal plants and animals. 10 minutes later, you find it buried under survey logistics in the expeditions net. Namane passes and pulls a face at the two of you. Hey, hollow nerd, she shouts. School's over. Come play sports ball in the sunshine. Tang just rolls her eyes. You don't have a dialogue choice about your but... Oh, you found me. This is adjusting better than you expected from life on the surface. He's already found new places to hide and do whatever he does out here by himself. I believe you're Cal. Cal is riding around Geopanics Gardens on his hoverboard. The board comes to a sudden, shuddering stop on the rocky ground in front of you. Cal falls off, but catches his balance before he eats dirt. Hi, Selene. Real ground is way harder to hover on than ship floors. There's bumps everywhere. Yeah, that sucks. Maybe hoverboards don't work outside? We all have to adapt. Let's just go with the yeah, that sucks. Yeah, no way. I didn't mean it like that, Cal exclaims. It's actually really cool. Hovering outside is rad. Look at this. He runs over to a small depression in a nearby hill and presents it like something amazing. Look at this. It's a skate bowl. Cool. Can I try a what now? Yeah, let's make a fool of myself. Sure, but please be careful. Mom says if I break my hoverboard, we can't make another one. Take turns riding around the bowl, trying to get enough speed going down one side and coming back to the other. You don't land any tricks. It's hard just staying on the board without even ground, but it's still fun. Tammy has a speech bubble. See Tammy sitting quietly near the entrance of the lounge. You've known her for well your entire life. Back on the ship? Power of friendship. Tammy had the best doll collection. After her mom died, her dad used his nanoprint credits to print her a different doll every month for a whole year. Her ears perk up when she sees you. Oh, hello, Selene, she says, her voice soft and dreamy, like a beam of starlight. Do you want to play dolls? Sure do. Nowhere too late. Maybe later. Sure do. You don't think Tammy will ever be too old to play with dolls. If anything, she has even more of them now. She takes you to her quarters and brings out the entire Spacey Stacy doll collection. A disturbingly realistic baby with real bowel movements and two super fancy posable dolls named Lily and Tilly who can be programmed to move on their own. Tammy isn't very good at the programming, so Lily and Tilly just roll around awkwardly when you turn them on. You cover quickly by saying they must be breakdancing at a club. Two, you spend the afternoon making up stories of the rise to stardom as professional dancers. Oh. Relaxing reduces 100% stress. How much stress do I actually have? 80. I can go study for one more month. Looks like I can register for engineering classes at this point. So let's find out what that does. Using computer intelligence scheduling system, it's almost a test on its own. You feel like a hacker navigating the confusing interference. Manage to add your name to the list of drop-in students. You're not eligible to join Tangent and some of the older students in engineering classes. We can do an engineering class. Professor Hal rubs his hand together as he waits for class to settle on. He's in a great mood. This must be his favorite subject to teach. Biology and chemistry are the wet sciences, and engineering must be dry one. Believe me, this class definitely won't be dry. He winks. It's weird. We'll also be learning math, physics, computing, robotics, agriculture, and astronomy. Tangent raises her hand. Will we also learn about nuclear engineering, she asks. Professor Hal nods. Yes, at a beginner level, we'll have an overview of atomic theory and take a field trip to the engine rooms and learn how our spaceship's nuclear reactor works to power the colony. Looking for more difficulty? This harder challenges options will keep you on your toes. Want to focus on the story? This will replace future minigames with a coin flip based on your age and skills. You can change either setting at any time. Let's see. Oh. There we go. Now I'm really stressed out. Wahaha. Alright, this has a speech bubble. This is sitting in the grass near the big gates that lead out to the jungle. He's just staring out into the nothingness and picking expertly at the weeds. He pretends not to notice as you approach. Are you okay? Do you want to play a game? Tease him, sit down with him. Friendly. He draws his knees under his chin. Not really, he mumbles into his sleep. How about sports ball? We can build a fort. What about a hollow palm game? Leave him alone. What about a hollow palm game? No, just leave me alone. Fine. Speech bubbles. Okay. Let's rest this up. It was long, well-lit hall of the outer hall of the ship's midsection. It's strewn with tables and cushions and serves as a communal living room for the tiny one-room spaces that every family is assigned. You flop down in the lounge's big beanbag pile with some other kids. Kyle is dazed, peaceful look on his face. The air smells so good on the Vertuma, and so does the dirt even. You notice his clothes are filthy, but obviously Cal couldn't care less. Amane bounces in. Holy crap, there's so much space to run around and play in. Kama and Chifret set up an outdoor sports ball coast, and this is way bigger than the old one on the ship. Tangent carefully selects one cushion from the pile and perches on it. The school is expanding some of the empty engineering bays, she tells you. We're getting a big new lab of experiments and local resources. There's so much to learn about on this planet. And Amane rolls her eyes, but Tang continues. We shouldn't forget our studies just because we've landed. Tang's right, school's important. Ugh, school, let's play outside. I want to explore the genre. I miss space. Yeah, I'm studious. Tammy nods in agreement. It's scary out there, she mumbles. I'm going to stay close to our quarters for now. You've had less of the deja vu dreams come to light feeling this week. You're starting to think you even imagine it. But suddenly you get a prickling sensation in the back of your neck and remember that Mars is about to enter the lounge and tell everyone to look outside. You stare at the door. Mars walks through it as if on cue. OMG, everybody, look outside. They're hosting a flag on over command. She says, clapping her hands excited. You know what that means, right? She stands tall with her hands on her hips. Vertuma is officially humanity's first exocolony, ever. You look out at the flag, feeling dizzy and silently mouth the words along with what she says next. You remember this moment so well. This is history, kids, she explains, wrapping Amane and Tangent under each arm. And we were here. Let's forget the red one. You wake from an afternoon nap. The dream you're in is one you've had many times. The air is strangely pink and fluffy, kind of sticky, and you have to push your way through it. It feels like every step you take is a journey. You push through the pink cloud and emerge into Children's Creche, a room you know well. You see your friend Tammy standing before you, an enormous bear made up of pure light. It lunges at her, through her, and she collapses to the ground, fainting like a fairy tale princess. You wake with your heart racing. Tammy is leaning over you where you've been sleeping in the nest of pillows. She shakes your shoulder gently. "Oh, I'm sorry, Selene," she says, as speaking to a small child. "I think you were having a nightmare. Are you okay?" "Are you? Nothing bad happened in the dream, but you feel sick with dread." Since you're awake, you should visit the cafeteria. Aunt Sedent is making a new kind of candy," she says. "It's made of cotton. Is that weird?" I have to go tidy the creche first. I'll meet you there. Save some for me, okay?" Tammy skips off towards the creche, humming to herself. You feel groggy and need a minute to clear your head. That dream. Forget dreams, get that candy. Wait, go save Tammy. I don't want anything. Let's go save Tammy. Sprint down the hall to Children's Creche, where little kids play and learn during the day. It's empty, all of the young kids probably off eating candy with Auntie Sedent. You spot Tammy tidying up some supplies near the craft rooms. Above him, a holo projector displays an enormous floating teddy bear made of purple light. It bobs silently in the air. Mr. Bearsworth, a decade of happy memories playing with it through your mind, is in his... Tammy stands up on her toe and reaches for the switch to turn it off. You slam into her, knocking her off her feet into the ground. At the same moment, the hologen projector sparks and explodes. The bear disappears, and the homeroom goes dark. In the dim emergency lighting, you see Tammy's eyed with surprise fear. She sits up and rubs her elbow, staring at you. "Sorry, are you hurt? I just saved your life. It was an accident. I tripped." Let's go with sorry. "I'm okay," she sniffles, looking like she might start crying. Why did you do that? Owie." Let's just go with it was an accident. "Oh," she mutters. She sniffles and wipes her nose, looking like she's trying not to cry. "Are you okay?" Tell her you're fine and says she's sorry again for hurting her. Happy that you just followed your dream and got here in time. Decided not to mention the dream since she seems weirded out already. After a minute, the lights come back on. The projector is dead, a thin trickle of smoke coming from the base. "Don't worry," Tammy says, brightening as she gets surveyed. "Professor Haru can fix it. He can fix anything." By the time you find the professor and finish cleaning up, you've forgotten all about the pink candy in the cafeteria. I found an egg. What if that's for? Oh my. Tammy has made it farther. Tammy's sitting down in the grass with a baby on her lap. They're playing nicely with some flowers and strand of beads in Tammy's hair or something. Tammy keeps gently removing the hair from the baby's mouth. "Oh, Selene," she giggles as you join her. "Aren't babies the best?" There's so many new babies in the creche. You'd think we're starting a new colony or something. Parents are too busy doing work and somebody needs to take care of the little ones. She looks down lovingly at the baby who's not sucking on part of her serve, eating it good and damp with baby drool. You could help too, it would be fun. Unlocked, babysitting in the living quarters. The baby chooses this moment to spit up a big bottle of pale yellow liquid on Tammy's dress. "Oopsie!" Tammy coos and picks up the baby, then she holds them towards you. "Could you take them for a minute while I find a towel, Selene?" Baby hiccups and rolls their eyes. They still look a little queasy to you. Of course, okay, I guess. You hell no. So real life, my choice would definitely be you hell no, but our French dictates, of course. You hold the baby against your shoulder and pat the back the way you've seen parents do sometimes. They let out a satisfying loud belch, and you feel a trickle of liquid run down your back. Yay. But you don't care, because there's nothing better than a fresh baby smell. You decide to take Tammy up on that babysitting job. You meet your dad adjusting the watering pot in your mom's flower garden. He's having a sneezing fit, his eyes running and red. You're alarmed. You've never seen him look so sick before. People were hardly ever ill on the Sarasota, except sometimes when the zero-G rooms made them queasy. "Not to worry, my little beanstalk," he says, nasally. "I'll be fine. This is just pollen making my head a little stuffy." He wipes his nose with a handkerchief and looks around everywhere you turn. Everywhere you turn, the hair is a little soupy, tinged with pink from all the floating pollen. On Earth, your dad tells you, we used to call this hay fever. Even though it had nothing to do with hay, your mom cuts in, carrying a large bouquet of flower. Native flowers seem to be in full bloom this time of year. She buries her nose deep in them, and they smell fantastic. Your dad smiles kindly and agrees. They sure are beautiful. Then he blows his nose loudly. Sniff the flowers, tell him you're scared of the power. Ah, sniff them. They do smell good, and they look harmless. Your dad's eyes look so sad, but maybe that's just allergies. Hey, Selene. I know the last few weeks have been very hard for you. This might be a good time to relax and stick around the quarters of the week. Selene, Tangent says, approaching you with purpose. We need to discuss my brother. Ooh, Dis? You mean my buddy Dis? I can choose either. Let's go with buddy. Yes, yes, Dis, she says impatiently. I need to figure out where he's been disappearing. Ever since we landed, I barely see him anymore. He doesn't come home at night, and sometimes She trails off and looks at her beat. Well, I'm not very good terms with the brothers of late, but people are becoming worried. I get feeling Tang is the one who's worried, but she doesn't want to admit it. I'll talk to him, I'll find out, that's his business. He probably won't tell you, Tangent says angrily. Newton's apple, she swears. He won't even talk to me anymore. She sighs. You may have to follow him. I would, but everyone in the lab would know if I was gone. No one cares where he goes during the day. You tell Diz that his sister Tangent wants to know where he's been disappearing off to. His eyes flit briefly to yours, then stares vaguely off towards the engineering room wing where his sister's been reading her holocom vision rest. He doesn't say anything. Just worry about you. Where do you go, Diz? You better tell me or else just leave him alone. Friendship power! His eyes lights up and he whispers, I bet you'd like it out there, Selene. He motions past, stretching away from the colony beyond the walls. I sneak out and go exploring sometimes. There's so much neat stuff. You just have to wait until the grown-ups aren't looking. I'm small, so it's easy. Just don't tell her, okay? I don't want to get in trouble. You follow him down a drain pipe half hidden behind the sports ball fields. Small kids like Diz could fit through it. Or you. Tangent will want to hear about this. Unlock sneak out and expeditions. You tell Tangent you know where Dis has been going. You tell her he's been sneaking out to explore the jungle, not far away, outside the walls. Tangent looks concerned. Really, she says, wrinkling her hands. Is he safe? Probably not. I'll keep him safe. She eyes you skeptically. Full offense, Selene, but you're just a kid, she replies. However, I suppose it's good to know he isn't alone out there. Sure. Said it was by the sports ball field. Can I sneak out through here? No. There we go. You've seen Dis use this drain pipe behind the garrison to sneak through the walls. There's a metal grate that comes off, so you can crawl through. Do you want to go through there? Sneak out to explore nearby. We'll become the bad kid. Events in theory can be done in any order. They won't cause time to pass, but they will increase your stress. Return home via the Expedition's depot fag or the home button on the top left of the screen. Watch for collectible items you can bring back as gifts. Events respawn at the beginning of each year. New collectibles have a chance to repair every suit. You slipped through the drain pipe of the colony before anyone saw you. Anyone, that is, except for a dark form watching you from the trees nearby. Is that Diz? He turns and disappears into the jungle. Now you're sure of it. That was definitely Diz. He's not allowed out of the colony either. Shout his name, follow him, ignore him. Shouting's dumb, I'm sneaking. You scamper after him through the bush, heedless of branches and brambles scrambling at your arms and legs. Without a proper inviter shoot, you get all scratched up. This kid is fast. You quickly lose sight of Diz and can't find his trail again, but you do learn something by trying. Is that friendly or dangerous? Yeah, let's find out. Your way is blocked by a strange small creature with 1 foot and 4 large eyes, 2 of which blink sideways on top of his head like frog eyes. Oh, this must be a hope eye. You've heard people talk about them, but you've never seen one up close. It suddenly starts flailing around like there's something wrong with it, even though it was fine a second ago. It keeps pausing to look at you, then goes back to flailing. Let's find out what an animal challenge is. Story challenges have 3 rounds instead of 1. After every round, you keep the cards you didn't play and unlock extra slots to play them in. Losing isn't always a bad thing in story challenges. Let's go with this to start with. Didn't super win, but did win. You stop trying to get past it and just listen. Oh, you can hear little squeaking noises from nearby. It's probably warning you to stay away from its nest. You carefully avoid the nest while speaking in soothing tones. The aggravated little guardian titters warnings at you, but eventually lets you by. You stop for lunch, eating an earth treat grown from your own greenhouse. A watermelon, nice and sweet, like a more solid lotto pop. You munch away, spitting out the seeds. Let's practice spitting seeds. Take the challenge seriously, lining up targets and keeping score. Your aim improves. Spot is sitting in a clearing, but not before he sees you first. Instead of sinking away like usual, he stays still as you approach. Like it's totally natural that he'd be sitting in the middle of a jungle so far away from colony walls. Now that you think about it, you're a little glad to see him. You are so far away from him that you can't see the walls anymore, and it's really weird out here, and it's getting late. Diz fingers unblinkily as you approach. Hi, Selene, is all he says. Hi, Diz. Why are you out here? I'm good at telling you. Hi. He seems to be in a good mood, something you see very rarely. Did you see Utopia out there, Diz asks? Chief Serotonin is easy to sneak back, but Utopia has like X-ray vision eyes or something. She'll catch you for sure if you get too close. She caught me once and I got in big trouble. How about I show you something cool, and sneaking out will be our secret, okay? He jumps up and walks a little ways in the trees. You follow. Just a few minutes away, the ground drops off into a large stone outcropping just over a cliff face. Just walks right to the edge without slowing. It's a long way down. Come on, he says. Try to be brave, wuss out. Gotta be brave. Let's just go with this. Super goal. You bravely step out of the rock and walk out to the edge with Diz. You both sit down, feet dangling over the precipice, and look out to the amazing view. It's incredible. You snap a picture with your holopalm. You won't share it on the net. It's your secret. Yours and Diz's. Keep exploring, go home. Need stress less than 100. I got stress less than 100. That doesn't look very friendly. Okay. They're declaring the most majestic creature you've ever seen. It's like a unicorn from your dad's storybooks, with leathery reptile skin that shines when light hits it. Moves so softly like it doesn't even disturb the ground. It could be dangerous. You want to see what it does. Let's just be as quiet as possible. Perceptions looks like one of my highest skill. Super goal! 1 perception, 1 kudos. You settle and watch it from behind a strand of mush trees. The Unisaur looks up towards you, startled by your movement. You try to hold perfectly still and quiet your breathing. After a tense moment, it goes back to its business. First, it sniffs out a good tree and rubs its glands on its neck thoroughly against it. Then it pees, like a crystal waterfall on a rock. Everything it does seems magical. You quietly take a picture of it with your holopalm. But you know you can't share it or else you get caught for sneaking out. Next, it sharpens its horn against a rock, which is scored with marks from having done this before. This must be its favorite sharpening rock. You notice the bulge in its stomach. It must have had a huge meal recently. Eventually, it curls up for a nap. You quietly sneak away. This was so wonderful. Your tomb is a magical place. You're minding your own business when you stumble into... This low valley has collected a lot of thick pollen. You cough and try to push your way through, but the pollen's all the way down. Surveyors get nice helmets with built-in masks, but yours is just a cheap one. At least the pollen isn't too thick here. This for a moment. Good last round, but I have a feeling you can do it. Yeah, this pollen makes your face itch. Makes all the better when you find a route to higher ground and come out the worst of it. Yeah, I got no clue where we're going. We're just gonna keep going. Come across a cluster of mush trees. They're not fully grown yet, but they're still pretty big. Might be good to harvest them before they get gross and mushy during the rainy season. If you were older, you could probably cut them down and get some kudos for them. Well, just give them a friendly pat. You like the mush trees. You give one a pat and surprise when it moves out of your hand. It's not the tree, though, but a camouflaged creature lying against the trunk. It's small and looks a little like an octopus or a starfish. Lots of long legs wrapped around the tree like it's giving it a hug. Hey, another egg. You let your mind wander as you're walking. Bumble straight into a field of gelatinous blob glass. Totally transparent, the sticky fronds are hard to see, but even harder to ignore, especially once they start glomming on your boots and slowing you down. It's like trudging through thick mud. You stubbornly decide to keep going, paying close attention to the visible signs of the blobgrass field. And there aren't many, just an absence of other vegetation. Not a great first round. Much better second round. There it is! You can hop along from that rock to the fallen log, climb over those old pieces of raiding equipment, you get through the villainous blobgrass. You spend a bunch of time on it, though, and it takes some tricky balancing. It's tiring. I wonder if I missed anything on the ground on the way back or previously. Yeah, whatever. Nearby pond has dammed up and washed out the path here. The path continues on the other side. Bravely jump over it. That was a misclick. I was gonna win that. Instead, I accidentally pushed through. Oh well. What's the odds this is the person Diz told me to avoid? You spot Uncle Tonin, Chief Spuratonin that is, bumbling about preparing some automatic survey equipment and declaring. He's very cautious, jumpy even, but he's making a lot of noise. Every few minutes he'll pause to listen, check his surroundings, and go back to banging away. Shouldn't be hard to avoid if you don't want to get caught sneaking out. You don't want a chance getting taught. Your mom would be so mad. My stress is at 95. I should probably just return home. Anyone to talk to? Doesn't look like it. Oh, I need a nap. Scott does listening music and asks what band. He shares his playlists of something he calls post-punk mid-21st century. It's kind of whiny, but sounds nice once you get used to it. Okay, I believe this one had delivery jobs. Bandits are in long hallways with doors and nondescript offices. Everyone you pass seems to be hurrying off to something important. The end of one hallway opens a supply depot, which works both as requisitions office and general store. Beyond it is Governor's warehouses stacked high with supplies from Earth, now being gradually unpacked from their distribution. I need toughness 10 or organizing better. Notice board. We don't have enough food. Colony food shortfall, 100% low. Colony security rating, evaluating. Notice take precautions outside the colony boundaries. Xenofauna have been sighted in the area. Survey teams are investigating. I don't feel like butchering all of that. Also, haven't done this one. Geoponics. The greenhouses have different biomes inside. Growing plants from Earth that might belong in a desert, jungle, or a temperate forest. Some are so delicate that you have to spray off any germs in the airlock before you can enter. In seasonal barren dry soil, tiny purple weeds sprout up from the cracks in the wind of their way around each other, suffocating one another in an attempt to gain higher ground. I might as well try shoveling some dirt this time around. It's your first day in the glorious world of agriculture, soil convergence. Good morning, Selene. Looks like you're working for your old lady. Hope you don't expect me to go easy on you just because you're my kid. She walks you around Geoponics wing and points out where everything is. Your job is to move sod, compost plants, garden waste, and equipment from one place to another. Get comfortable with this, she says, pushing a squeaky old-fashioned wheelbarrow towards you. Any questions before you start moving dirt? No, we have machines for this. Where do I move it again? Why not just use hydroponics? Let's get to work. Don't we have machines for this? The construction crew's already claimed all the hover lifts, she said, shrugging. But they'll break down in a few years anyways, so we don't have the materials to fix them up. She grips your forearm. We're planet side now. Use your muscles. Nature hydraulic cushions. Let's just get to work. That's my kid, your mom says, slapping you on the back as you stumble a little. Your arms start to ache after the first half-hour work, but you keep going. By the end of the month, you feel utterly drained and exhausted. And good somehow. You can feel your muscles growing already. It's time for Vertumilia. Etiquette and the council have called a festival to celebrate life here on the planet Vertumia. Everyone gathers in the colony square to hear Governor Etiquette's speech. In Earth's history, Etiquette begins, and then clears her throat and waits for everyone to quiet down. It's Earth's history. Vertumia was known as the god of seasons, change, gardens, and fruit. It's no coincidence that our forebears of the planet Vertumia chose to take on such an auspicious name in hopes of seeding the future beyond seasons of humanity. We will continue our tradition of Vertumilia, a mid-season festival to celebrate our Vertuma, this lush planet on Planet Day. Yawn, clap. Yes, let's just enjoy the festivities. Everyone cheers and applauds. The members of the councils all get up on stage one at a time and give their own short speeches. Governor Etiquette announces each one. Governor Etiquette, command. Chief Administrator C, command. Chief Security Ret, garrison. The Chief Engineer, instance engineering. Chief Cultivator, Flu, Geoponics. Chief Steward, Antecedent quarters. Chief Surveyor, Melatonin, expeditions. When it's your mother, Flulu's turn, she announces that tonight you'll be eating some of your first crops going very soon. Just realizing I've never said my mom's name before now. Your eyes go to the feast table aboard the Stratosphere. It would have been mostly soy-based food from the nanoprinters, spiced up with the fruits and vegetables we down in small growing bays. This year, Earth's plants look even less robust than usual, but they're supplemented by some Vertunian plants that you've come to appreciate. Juicy potato and slabs of edible fungi. Etiquette takes stage after everyone in the council has said their piece. What is a festival without festivities, she asked. Professor Holland's security chief, Ref, had organized a 3-part competition for the kids. Good luck, children. Which one do you enjoy? Bot wrestling? Toughness-based? Talent show? Creativity-based? Or science fair? Reasoning-based? Of those, my reasoning seems to be the best, so let's go with that. Tangent competes, of course, entering her study of the ship's hydro recycling system. It was previously used to make urine drinkable, but she offers that it can be now turned into new uses. Despite how many times she says the word pee, it's still boring, but she puts a lot of effort into it. Tammy has a science project too. She tells you she wasn't strong enough for the strength competition and was too scared to go on stage for the talent show, so science fair it is. I think her experiment was supposed to be putting white flowers in red food coloring to turn them red, but the flowers all turned blue instead. Tammy can't explain why, she just keeps blushing and giggling in embarrassment. The flowers are pretty though. She tucks one behind your ear for good luck as you prepare to give your presentation. Goal of 40, huh? Let's do this smarter. No, I'm not gonna quite make it. I need to make up 9. Yeah, I got the stress. This time I'll actually push through. You worked hard on your product. It's a baking soda and vinegar volcano with a twist. You grind up native rock as the soda part, and use the juice from a native plant for the vinegar part. Your dad helped with the idea. Just a little, though. You use it to explain the native acids and bases on Fortuna. They're very strong, so the resulting explosion splatters all over the judges. It's a crowd pleaser, earning you the top prize for the science fair. A 5 card seems good. After the festivities are over, everyone takes time off for a much-needed break. During the fierce heat of dust, a few days of rest is exactly what you need. You feel refreshed. Cool. Got all my stress back. Very well worth it to push through. So 2 to talk to down there. Let's start with Tammy. Tammy almost doesn't notice you as you approach. She's bent over her holopalm, intently taking notes, so that you get close enough that her ear is brilliant and she looks up surprised. Oh, hello, Selene, she greets you cheerfully. I'm so sorry, I didn't see you there. +1 to the card to the right. You ask her what she's studying, and she flushes pink and tugs on her ear. Oh, I'm not studying, she says. I'm making a list of my friend's favorite things. She laughs a little embarrassed, and, well, you're my friend, Selene, so what's your favorite color? Blue, yellow, red, black, pink. I hate all colors equally. Or more. What's more? Green, purple, orange, rainbow. The color of the monster behind you. Let's just be fun and pick rainbow. You're funny, Selene. She notes your answer and asks what your favorite dessert is. Space cake, fresh fruit, soy sweets, spoons full of prosciutto. I don't like sweet things. Desert. I prefer the Sahara myself. Let's just go with fresh fruit. Tammy carefully notes this as well. Okay, last question. What's your favorite toy? Stuffed animals, hover boys, dolls and action figures, holopalm, toys are for image preferred. Oh, let's play the judge. Me too, she smiles. Okay, now that I know what to get you for your birthday. Ask her what her favorite things are. She presses an index finger together shyly. I like the color yellow and my dolls, and my favorite sweet thing is a cake. Tangent is watching a construction crew build scaffolding for the new engineering pavilion. They're using mushwood, which is so light that one person can easily lift a 10-meter long pole and stack it into place. She points towards them. Human beings are so great, don't you think? Before we landed, this was just a dirty jungle. Now it's civilization. I've been learning about the adaptability in writing in biology class. Books say it's what sets us apart from animals. Like, we don't need fur because we can make warm clothes, and if it's too hot, we can make air conditioners instead. Yeah, totally. We can also sweat. Maybe the animals have neat adaptations. Well, let's just go with totally. Tangent nods absently, lost in her own thoughts. Humans are some of the only animals native to Earth that can sweat. I wonder if it seems so much warmer here than us. Have the animals here developed the capability to sweat, or have they adapted to the heat in some other way? Together, you watch as the foreman puts the blueprints for the scaffolding onto the folding screen of her holopon and raises the scaffolding to check their progress. I'd like to see an alien do that, Tang says grimly. Humans look defenseless and weak, but we're on the strongest species in the galaxy. Who else can literally bend reality to their will? Not a stupid alien, that's for sure. She puts one finger to her chin. I'm living proof that humanity is greater than our biology, she says. All of us are, really, with our genetic enhancements. We're the next step in humanity's evolution from great ape to genetic superspecies. Mouth getting dry. Yeah, let's go with sports ball this time. When Monet meets you at the court, she's bouncing from one leg to the other in excitement. Her brother Kam is organizing the youth too, she tells you. Kombucha offers you a high five and greeting, then tosses the sports ball your way. Let's start with a practice game to see what you're good at. You and Monet are team captains. Pick your team. Monet used to pass through Cal and Mars on the ship, but Tammy, you're surprised to see her here. Kam will fill in to even up the teams, but he promises to go easy on the other side. Alright, one Mars coming up. I'll play Spiker. Mars runs to take position. Seems like she's in it for the glory. Hopefully she wants to share some of that with the rest of the team. I chose the kombucha, of course. They bump fists. Your next choice is... Yeah, figured you pick Cal. Mind if I play goalie? Yes, sports ball is fun, but it feels mean to score goals against the other team. Start the game. Cal makes an amazing jump save, but is winded when the ball hits him in the chest. Score is tied, with Amane and Kam putting the pressure on. Then blam! You score the match point with a rad spike all the way from the net line. Okay. I haven't tried the babysitting yet, so we'll go try that. Should, in general, probably focus on something, but... Hello, Selene. Antecedent greets you. Oh, sweetheart, I'm happy you've come back to help. You know this place well. The crèche, part of the preschool, part all-day care. You practically grew up here, cared for the community while your parents worked their shifts. Few kids even live in the crèche for full time. In a way, Antecedent, aka Annie, Antecedent, is every kid's mom. The smell of craft glue, clean blankets gives you a calming sense of memory of all the happy time you spent here with your friends. Tammy is here too, gently rocking a drowsy baby against her chest. She looks at ease here in a way you don't usually see. You're gonna babysit too? She asks in an excited whisper. You'll love it. Suddenly, a bundle of wild hair and pink overall runs straight into you, nearly knocking you over. Almost more kitten than kid. The child grabs your leg and stares up with you on blinking green eyes. Watch that one, Antecedent warns. You remember Nougat? She's turning out to be quite a handful. Why don't you start off by getting her to go down for a nap? Read a book to her, play a game with her, make some crafts with her. Let's try a game. Sports ball! She shouts with an extra bouncy inflatable ball from a cubbyhole. Show Nugget how to balance it on your head and bounce it gently up and down. Of course, when she drives, she bops it with such force that it flies across the room. She chases after it, clapping excitedly. Nougat makes a baseline for some older kids who are playing with a crate bot. She charges in to pick up the bot and hug it, causing it to flail and whirl and knock both her and itself over. By the time you get to the scene of the crime, there are tears, the other kids upset about their broken bot. The commotion attracts the attention to Antecedent, who swoops in and hugs with tissues. Within minutes, she has it on control. Whoops, she says, hauling Nougat up on her hip with some ease. Just a little mix-up. Don't worry, everyone. Celine will get that bot fixed up in a jiffy. She winks at you with a warm smile. Get to work. Looks like I want to do this. Cautiously through gallery gates. Hey there, kiddo. Uncle Tona blocks you with a smile. Great expeditions are off limit now. It's not safe out there for you kids. Better toughen up so you can join the squads when you're older. Okay, I need to get 20 toughness or 20 bravery to go out through the front. But for now, I can just focus on my reasoning. Doesn't seem bad to be a scientist. You do some work with the construction crew this week. Observe how they use congruence and their hollow projectors to plan, build, and repair the colony. Foreman walks you through the projections. Literally. And points out the various architectural details adapted to life on Fortuna, like canopies over the windows to keep the temperature down. It's really neat to learn how the architecture adjusts all the environmental concerns so you don't have to rely on the resource-hogging life support systems. You're having a terrifying familiar dream. A monster crashing through the walls, unfathomably large, every part of it wriggling and moving and searching for something. It tramples through the colony as you watch helplessly. Time shifts to the wreckage of your home. You're picking through it, looking for something. Tears streaking down your dust-covered face as you lift up heavy pieces of debris, searching. You wake up shouting, "No!" But your voice is drowned out by a deafening rumble in the skies outside. Bedroom window is covered in water? It's pouring down from the clouds. You guess it must be rain, but you've never experienced it before. There's a bright flash from outside, another crack and rumble. Thunder! Must be a thunderstorm. It's still early hours in the morning. You've already almost forgotten your bad dream, but you're too unsettled to go back to sleep yet. The rain beats down on the roof of your quarters, joined now and then by great peals of thunder, like footsteps of an angry beast. Hide under the covers, run outside and play in the rain, go to your parents for comfort. Let's just go to my parents. Your dad is awake too, watching the rain from the large porthole of the kitchenette. He gives you a hug and you gaze out together. "This is good," he says quietly. "This means we'll have plenty of water for the crops. Pure, healthy water, just like on Earth. Everything's going to be okay, my little potato." You hug your dad tight and hope he's alright. Or, hope he's right. my studies for now. Hi, kids. The ship's on board's intelligence concurrence guides into the room ceiling track. Class cheers. Courage is so cool. She's like a person, but also a machine. She knows a lot of jokes and can tell you anything about space. She never gets bored or frustrated by your questions. You all know me, she says, but I bet some of you have a lot of questions about how I work. What do you want to know? How do you know so many things? What's your job? Do you have to eat poop? Just listen. Yeah, we'll just listen. Keep things moving. Courage explains that she has to do all kinds of calculations to help fly the ship and land it, and that she has designed and provided a user-friendly interface to the ship's systems. But Hal has motivated me to be far more than that, she says proudly. Now I can even tell jokes. Why did the computer cross the road? Yeah, I don't know why, just listen. I don't know why. Encouragement smiled widely. Insert binary joke. Get to work. Let's see. I can still handle this for a bit longer. Oh, my dad wants to talk. You're looking a little worn out, my little firefly. Your dad greets you, looking concerned. You know, despite what your mom might say, there is such a thing as too much work. Maybe some R&R over in Lodge would help recharge your soul cells. What do you say? Maybe I just need a hug. I'm fine, thanks. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Maybe I just need a hug. Dad throws his arm rise. Well, we'll get there, tiger butter. After a long hug, you do feel a little better. Your dad gives incredible hugs. Drop me down to 70? It did. That's quite useful. Now I can go study for 2 more months. Wahaha! This month, you explore making electronic music and learn about manipulating the frequency and pitch of sound to make unusual and sometimes pleasant results. It's kind of amazing that music is just physics. You share your creations on the HoloNet for people to download. It's nice to have something new to listen to. Days have been getting shorter, with only the yellow sun barely skimming the horizon. One morning you wake in the darkness to have to check your holopalm to know what time it is. You see a holostream from Mars. Good morning to all my pals, if you can even call it morning. They've named it Glow Season because, like, everything is crazy glowing out there in the dark. I'm staying the heck inside for the next month. What's the point of even going out if you can't see anything? It's going to be a long month to y'all. Yeah, Halladal? No way, it looks cool out there. I would think it looks cool, but let's go with agreeing with them. You give Mars Streams a thumbs up and peek out the window. The wormhole looks huge out there and everything looks spooky and glowing. No Peruni, that's way sketch. You'll be staying close to your quarters, thanks. After Mars' message is a notice from the council warning everyone to stay safe inside. Tammy's dad and the other surveyors have been called back and the gates closed for the month. There's a tension in the air, as if everyone's waiting for something. Yeah, I'm staying inside real good. Oh, that changed. Yeah, I could study for 1 more month, then I need to take a nap for a month. Your first test already. Calm down, class, Hal smiles. This quiz is just to find out where y'all stand and what you want to learn in this class. It'll help me tailor personalized lesson plans to each you. The test pings on your holoplan and you open it. It starts easy. Suspiciously easy. Sure enough, every section is harder than last, and you quickly stumped by a question. You know the teacher said you weren't supposed to be able to answer all the questions, but you look over at Tang. She's breezing through the tests. The competitive gremlin in you has an idea. 2 isn't a bad card, but I don't think I should cheat. Cheating is for losers, unless it makes the game more fun. Oh god, that's a high score. Aha! You plow forward, skipping the questions you don't know and coming back for some of them later. It's a good strategy, letting you collect the easy points while not wasting time in the harder times. You got an A, which means advanced class. You still got some wrong. It's a little frustrating, but the teacher tells you those questions were designed for much older students. It appears we'll be working on advanced materials together, Tang says, impressed. I am now at 100% stress. The endless dark of glow season must be getting you. All week you've been having nightmares. Something is coming. Something bad is about to happen. A dreadful mantra repeats in your head. I think I just got 50 more stress. It's probably good I didn't rest. You hardly even seem surprised when the emergency lights are. You peek out the gates. Yes, they should be closed, but they're open. Just as you dreamed or remembered. The details are foggy. There are monsters. The closet assembly point is the children's crowd. But from the opposite direction you hear shouting and loud popping noises. Gunfire? Is the colony under attack? Sure, I'll help. Screw it, I'm already at 170 stress or whatever. Does it cap at 100? It does. Oop, nope. Pass that up. You hear yelling from the stairs up and push to southeast. Geoponics for your parents working. Let's go to my parents. Parents are defending the greenhouses from a pack of knee-high creatures who seem to have eyes growing for all their eyes. The oily flesh ripples from constant self-emotions as individual eyes blink one at a time, incessantly. You can't tell which is the end and which with these horrible things. Cal is standing nearby, wide-eyed. He slowly picks up a shovel and moves beside you. He reluctantly holds a shovel in front of himself like a weapon. Easy, doggies, he whispers. We don't want to hurt you. Get out of here, both of you, run! Your mom shouts, attracting the pack's attention. All except one animal, which moves straight towards you and Cal. Bite. Analyze its behavior. I do not have that. Figure out what it wants. I do have that. You look into its too many eyes and see fear. This creature's afraid of you. To Cal's amazement, you crouch down and try to look less threatening and choose two eyes at random to look into and communicate with. You start to reach out a hand, but the creature is trembling. Staring at his eyes has made it even more frightened than before. It pounces. Defend yourself. You killed it with nothing but a rake. You thrust deep into several of the creature's many eyes. The rest of the pack scampers off the moment it falls. You never killed anything before. The body of the creature that was so terrifying a minute ago now looks strangely small and harmless. All of its eyes have closed for good now. Cal crouches beside it in shock. I told you to run, Selene. Uh-oh, your mom looks furious that you put yourself in danger. She storms over, and you think she's going to slap you. Then suddenly she pulls you into your arm and hugs you. She keeps rocking you and saying, my baby, over and over. It's pretty surreal, almost as weird as the dog things with the eyes, honestly. After 2 weeks of darkness, the blue sun barely skimming the horizon begins to move higher in the sky, and daytime returns. The council admits they don't know how the gates were opened or how the creatures got in. Some of the attacking creatures were once thought to be docile. Others were species nobody had seen before. It's like something had driven them to assault the colony. At least nobody was killed. This time. Childhood is fleeting. The game will end when you reach age 20. So you should focus on a few skills to improve and friends to spend time with. Use the skills and friends buttons on the top left of the screen to keep track of them. Good luck. Let's see. Memories, friends. Skills are on the last. How am I doing with friends? Looks like Tangent and Diz are the best ones so far, and I haven't met a lot of people. Tangent is standing still with her face held up to the sky, letting blue snowflakes land on her cheek. They melt almost immediately. She doesn't move as you approach. After a minute, she winces and rubs her eyes. It stings, she says, because it's made of acid. Acid snow? Sounds gross. Ah, run away from the acid snow. Tang nods. Professor Hal says it isn't harmful, and it's an important part of the natural cycle here. It freezes at 12 degrees Celsius and turns into tiny crystals that are so heavy they fall from the cods. You can see them under a microscope. She sticks her tongue out and lets some of the flakes fall on it. It tastes kind of sour but sweet, she observes. Fascinating. Tang pulls a sample jar out of her coat. We know what it's made of, but our understanding is incomplete, she says and places the jar on the outcropping rust. The big mushrooms changed in shape and color before the snow began to fall. I wonder if there's some sort of signal that precedes the changing of season. What happens if I expose samples collected in dust season to snow from the quiet season? A small, excited smile creeps across Tang's face. There's so much to learn about this planet, I can't wait. You and your brother are so much alike. Tang narrows her eyes. Yes, we used to get that a lot, she says. I guess it's still true if you think sneaking out of the colony is the same as valid scientific research. She frowns at you. He's so dumb, she mutters and shoves her hand out her arms. He only cares about feelings, especially his own. You're looking for Cal in the garden when you nearly trip over someone else, one of the younger kids, and they're blindfolded? Hey, they exclaim, ripping the blindfold off the face and throwing to Cal. It's Sirius, one of Amone's brothers. He glares at you. I was almost done. Cal jogs over and grabs Sirius from a headlock and ruffling his messy red hair. Dude, you were so close. Sirius stamps his feet and complains that you got in his way. It's not their fault, Cal says. They didn't know you were playing a game. Give me a sec. I want to teach them how to play. Cal turns to you as Sirius leaves. Sorry, Selene, he says sheepishly. I teach Sirius a new game, but he's more like a Mennonite than I thought. Real competitive, you know. He stoops to pick up a blindfold, brushing off the dirt. I'm trying to come up with different kinds of games other than sports ball, he says. No winners or losers. I just want to have fun with my friends. Cal looks at you hopefully. Do you want to learn how to play? Yes. Cal's smile looks like it's going to stretch right off his face. Radical, he shouts, jumping up and down in excitement. Okay, so first you put on a blindfold. The blindfold is a little scratchy and smells like dirt. You can feel Cal's big hands on your shoulders. I'm spinning you around, and when I let go, you gotta listen to my instructions. We're gonna walk all the way to the cafeteria, okay? You nod. Can't see Cal's grin, but you hear it on his voice, and he spins you around and counts 10. 1, 2, 3. First, you gotta walk forward 10 steps. You follow Cal's instructions the best you can, or you make things difficult for him. Do your best. Take 10 steps straight forward, holding your hands out for balance. The rocky dirt between the garden beds crunches on your feet. Yeah, Cal says. Now turn to your right and take 15 steps until you get to the door. Get it right. You turn to the right and walk forward, counting out 15 steps. When you stop, Cal laughs. You can hear his footsteps crunching behind you. I forgot how much bigger I am than you. You're like 2 more steps away. You take 2 more steps until the outstretched hands land on a warm metal of the door. Success. Awesome, Cal says. You can't help us out. This is fun. Now hit the door button on the right, and then keep walking forward until I say stop. You gotta go really slowly, okay? You open the door and start to walk forward. The path slopes downwards, and your feet slip a little bit, even though you're moving as slowly as you can. Real dirt is nothing like the metal floors of the stratosphere. It's turbo rocky here, Cal says, and you can feel uneasiness prickle in the back of your arms. Just keep moving forward slowly. Don't trust him enough, I guess. You try to do as you're told, but after a few steps, your foot knocks against a sprawling root and you fall forward, catching yourself on both your hands and knees. Ouch! You tear off the blindfold and a sudden rush of tears flooding your eyes. Cal's beside you, kneeling on the rocks. Are you okay? He asks. You look down at yourself. Your knees and hands are pretty screwed up. Your pride is bruised, but other than that, you're fine. Cal helps you stand. I'm sorry, Selene. I'll be a better helper next time. He asks you if you want to get some matcha juice at the cafeteria instead. Spend the rest of the afternoon brainstorming more games where there's no winners or losers. Okay, time to take a nap. Spend several hours a day obsessively checking the HoloNet for updates. With so few people in the colony, social media can be very dead. It feels like you're talking to yourself sometimes. You try to start a few conversations, but most people are busy at work or school. So much has happened in the last month since the monster attack during Glow. The idea of this planet as a peaceful utopia has been shattered. Security squads are training new members and keeping close watch on the gates now. They're reinforcing the walls and even installing a few robotic turrets. In class, you have drills on what to do if the colony is attacked again. In all excitement, you forgot today was your birthday. Your parents haven't forgotten. They wake you up early with enthusiastic shouts of surprise. The returning year is only a little longer than a year on Earth, so you've taken up its calendar for birthdays. Yours is in the second month of quiet. Spark snow drifts slowly past your porthole window as you snuggle with your dad. Your mom climbs up too and sits on the edge of your bed. Your dad pulls a bowl of fruit from behind his back with a flourish like a magic trick. At least you think it's fruit. What are those? Flower fruit, your dad grins. The foragers have been picking these just outside the wall. They might look a little funny, but they're tasty. Try one. Take a cautious bite. The pulp is soft and tastes a bit like lemon, only more blue. I bet you can't wait to join the fairs out there, your dad says wistfully. Who knows what else you'll find. Selene is not allowed outside the gates, your mom interrupts, her voice sharp. It's too dangerous for kids. Well, I know, but eventually, your dad says. But your mom cuts him off again. But not now, your mom replies. Not since the attack. Not with everything we know is out there now. I helped, I was a hero. I knew about the monsters, admit it. The attack was scary. I was a hero. Don't even start, your mom says. You should have just been crushed with the others, not putting yourself in danger for no reason. You don't get it. You know your mom wasn't a farmer back on Earth. She was a fighter too. She's such a hypocrite. Even still, your mom says, it's clear that everyone should know how to defend themselves if it happens again. To be clear, that includes knowing when to run away, your dad says. Security chiefs rest offering self-defense lessons at Garrison, you know. Even for kids, if you're interested, you should drop in sometime. Your mom gives you a stern look. And I know your friend Dis has been sneaking outside the wall, she says grimly. If I catch you doing that, I'm going to put a chip in your ear. You laugh. What a good joke. Your mom doesn't laugh. What, me? Never. It's probably not that dangerous. I'll do what I want. I'm 11. Good time to start lying good. Yeah, you better never, your mom retorts, crossing your arm. Continue studying engineering. Because I assume building up single skill will do something eventually. You're bringing supplies to the med bay when you see something unusual. Tangent curled up on a bench, her head pilled on a rolled lab coat. She's fast asleep. You stop and stare. You never see Tang sleeping. She's always so busy. You're surprised she even has time to nap. You turn and leave her in peace when you bump into Anamane. What the hell is she doing here? Whoa! Anamane says. She hardly ever sleeps, like just a couple hours a night. Is she sick or something? You look back at Tangent, snoozing peacefully. I'm so jealous of her genetic enhancement, Anamane said, rubbing one of the scales sprouting on her jawline. She hardly ever needs to sleep at all. She probably stayed up all night studying for this morning's history test. Shish, let her sleep. There was a test? Yeah, just let her sleep. Thanks, Halapon police saw alarm. She slips up and stretches, looking totally refreshed and alert. She sees her watching her and looks annoyed. Just a power nap, she says. No reason to gawk. As you get older, challenges can have conditions. Your challenge suit, social, mental, physical, determines what conditions can appear and which decks will work best. Try to collect social, yellow cards if you want to win battles for social skills. It could be persuasion, creativity, bravery. Looks like I get extra kudos if the total equals the goal instead of beating it a lot. Doesn't seem like there's anyone to actively talk to. Let's do a little self-defense. You attend your first session of Security Chief Ret's self-defense class. It's a small class, mostly security officers and other adults. You and Amane are the only kids. She gives you a wink and a cheesy thumbs up as you listen to rant about how everyone in the colony needs to learn self-defense. You could be walking along, thinking you're safe within the walls, and a flying animal will swoop out of the sky. Then what do? Rhett chops in the air with his hand. I'll tell you what you're gonna do. You're gonna chop that beast right in the throat. Yeah! He points at the assembled class. But only if you learn what I'm about to teach you. The only way to learn is by doing. Who wants to volunteer for a demonstration? Yeah, screw it. Just go forward. Scary Church doesn't scare you, or so you pretend. Rhett is like the biggest adult you know, and he's so intense. Step forward, and Rhett nods as he crushes down. Okay, he says. I'm a manticore stalking you through the forest. What do? Kick it in the face. Try to kick Rat as he approaches you. He easily grabs your foot and flips you on the mat. Ouch. Wrong. Use your brain sight. First you do is call for help. Then you run. Rat grabs your forehead and hauls you on the ground. Only engage with the enemy, there's no other alternative. No one walks away from the fight without getting hurt. The first rule of self-defense is not to put yourself in situations where you need to fight. Amane still thinks you're cool for acting tough. She gives you another thumbs up. Once you've learned situational awareness, we'll move to hand-to-hand self-defense, drawing a variety of martial arts. Only when I'm confident you're ready will advance to weapons. There aren't that many weapons in the colony, mostly stun guns and batons with a few plasma rifles. We hope you don't have to use them, but it'd be good to know how. Random card locked in one slot. 0, 1... There we go. Toughness is at 11. I mean, I can go out of here now. I need 20. I feel like it might be worthwhile to get enough toughness up so I can continue training for a while. Especially since I have visions of monsters attacking. Might need some combat prowess. Continue my engineering, because I might be able to build, weapons. Part of self-defense is training your body. That sounds... Oh wait, this is new. Training to be ready for any situation. Security chief has you running laps, jumping through tires, climbing walls, and sprinting back and forth. His inverted anti-gravity pad that makes your limbs feel super heavy. You do jumping jacks on it, and then have to do them again in normal time. It feels like you could jump straight back through the wormhole. It's exhausting, but not that different from sports ball training. I cannot take that. Take that one instead. You get stronger every day, but at what cost? You go home every night soak your aching muscles, hoping that you won't hurt as much in the morning. I feel like you're getting your butt kicked. Guessing people that don't have dots don't have anything super interesting to say. Nope, I guess they do. Can't pay you any less connection, you'd be flat out ignoring you. Can I help you? I have the reasoning for this. I was smiling, looking over shoulder to the room. There is still reason to talk to everyone. I've just been sitting them. Group by color, texture, watch. So dots must mean a unique scenario. These are random ones. You've never seen rocks before? Thank you, just says, clearly unsure how to react. I'll find something to do with it. I was the only in the group for planting a piece of potato. When I was a kid, I thought everything grew up from chopped pieces of bigger things. I mean, that's how it works for potatoes and onions. He sits back on his heels, funny looking things. Just never thought about how babies are made, huh? So it looks like there's a 20 check on something where I can give gifts to people. Is that an alien egg? Cal exclaims. Wow, I wonder what's in it. It's still warm, maybe I can hatch it. Lifts up scrutinizing. Everybody's always talking about wanting to eat a big old alien egg, he says. This one's not fertilized, I'll give it to her. Mars is leaning over a house screen, chin in hand. She exhales and blows a piece out of her hair. I hate schoolwork, she says. My dad's told me to get good educations necessary for all people of culture, so I guess I gotta do it. She scrolls listlessly through her work from one finger. Going to the science parts, at least. Do not have the persuasion for this. You can have my birthday fruit. That's fine. Mars takes it for me without really looking at it. Thanks. More defense training. You run into Cal and Amane on the hill behind the garrison, a small construction site. They seem to be throwing logs? There's a bunch of them lying at the bottom of the hill. It's a caber toss, Amane shouts at you, then grunts with the effort of lifting its 6-meter-long mush tree pole. She throws it like a javelin down the hill and sprints after it. Best record, she shouts and ties a piece of caution tape to the end of the pole. Your turn next, Cal says, pointing neatly stacked pile of construction poles beside you. From the looks of the nearby construction, they're probably destined to be new lookout towers someday. Choose an average one, choose a thicker, heavier one. Can I just watch instead? Yeah, let's not be overzealous. Solana has made a fine pole section, Cal narrates in the haughty voice, and has lifted it onto their shoulder. Next, they will approach the sprinting line and begin their run, tossing the caber before they reach the throwing line. A 3-round one. Full sails down the hill past the other poles, coming to rest sticking out of the ground. Wow, you beat my best instruments, Amane said, and she jogged back up. Players can't beat each other in much, Paul Charles Cal corrects her. They can only beat their own high scores, but you two get, 3 bonus points if it sticks out of the ground like that. Play for the rest of the afternoon, adding rules and variations as you go. Don't stop until the entire stack of poles are just a jumble at the bottom of the hill and decorated festively with caution tape. It's a wonder you got away with this. You're finishing breakfast in the common area when Marzipan struts in. Look at you, eating cereal, she says, turning her nose up at you. But you don't even know what today is. Guess her birthday? No, you dummy, she exclaims, spotting your shoulder. My birthday is the first month of the wet season. You better remember that. Today, she announces the room, is St. Valentine's Day. Diz and Tammy wander over to hear more. Back on Earth, Mars explains, it's a day when everybody had to give their best friend a gift, especially sweets. And then you put the sweets under your pillow and it makes you dream about who you're gonna marry. And there's decorations of hearts and arrows and pigs. Tammy cocks her head. Why pigs? Before Mars can answer, Diz snorts. This is dumb. Marzipan just made it up to get free candy. He rolls his eyes and walks away. As he leaves, Mars shouts back, well, nobody was gonna pick you anyway. You stink. Valentine's Day sounds like fun. I know who my best friend will be. I think it's dumb too. Tammy nods enthusiastically. Her hair bobs jingling. I'm gonna tell all the other kids about it, Mars said. So you go around and find your best friend and give them a gift. She points her finger at you. Make sure you do it by the end of the day or it doesn't count. If too many people want to be my best friend, she adds, I'll hold tryouts for the position. It's only fair. She tosses her hair over her shoulder and laughs. Everyone has things today. Makes sense. Who should my best friend be? I technically get along with Tang best because I've been studying so much engineering. Let's start with Tang and Tangent is waving her hands vigorously there. She's planning a study game on her holopalm, and you have to match following numbers and correct equations. She barely notices you come up. Yeah, let's start with her and see if I can do multiple. Not the reasoning, strength in numbers, deal making its foundation, and so on. Being pauses the game, I focus on you. Best friends, that sounds so childish, but I suppose we have smart kids stick together. It'll make Mars stop asking me if I've chosen a best friend yet. She goes back to the game. I'll accept your proposal. I get rid of everyone else. Gets rid of most people. So then I tapped it in my room. Amane says, telling you all about the bug she saw in her quarters. Its wings were as big as my hand, and feelers like, whoa, is bouncing all over the place, like boing, boing, boing. She gestures very excitedly, swinging her arms all over it. The bugs here are so big, and they're everywhere. I was gonna give it a tang, she says. She loves gross bug stuff. But then she said I should just let it go, because if it stung me, I might get weird mutant powers. I mean, other than the one I already have. I wanted to see if it got more weird mutant powers, so I started jumping around higher and higher things until I was jumping off the back of the ship. I got in so much trouble, but it wasn't even that high. She stops in her tracks. Hold on, she says, stooping to rub irritably at her knees and probably 100th time in the past 5 minutes. Ugh, I'm gonna die. Bust up my knees, and it's so itchy from when my scales grow in. Annie, don't pick at it. Steve shows and his voice rings out across from Garrison Road. Pleasant but firm. It instantly transports you back to being the ship's crash, tugging your skirts and calling her Auntie. Amani jumps and stands straight, her hands flying to her sides. Mom! Amani runs, sticking her fingers into his knees as antecedent pursues. Ah, it's so psychiatry itchy. I know, lovely, antecedent soothes her, patting her down radius here. But the more you pick at it, the thicker your scales are going to grow in. Amani tucks her hands under her armpits to keep scratching. What if I want to have cool scales? She pouts. Antecedent smiles indulgently. At the rate you're going, I'm sure you're going to be covered in them before you know it. No need to rush. Amani's skin is dotted with patches of protective blue-green scales that grow in whenever she gets cut or scraped. She rubs the patch on her jaw intentionally. One she got when she ran headfirst into the food synthesizer back on the skid. Antecedent opens her satchel and pulls out a bundle of clothes. This key from the nanoprinter is over a week long. I patched your pants with scraps from your brother's clothing. Please try not to put so many holes in them. Or yourself, okay. She has the clothes to Mani and kisses her on the forehead. Mani sticks out her tongue and gags. Yuck. Mani veils her clothes as her mom walks away. Galactic, she breathes as she runs her finger over the odd color patches. Then, right there in the middle of the yard, she unshamelessly squirms out of her pants and pulls out the moons. Whoa, I look like a jet, or fighter jet, from all the holos, she exclaims, showing off her new pants. Like, when they censor your kill count on the plane. Or like a really cool scar, you should be more careful. Mani grins. Yeah, you get it. My pants were scarred, just like me. Yeah. Mars is in a huff. Ah, because you didn't pick her for Valentine's Day. Seems like nobody picked her. She crosses her arm and scowls at you. You chose Tang over me? She doesn't even like people. What are you going to do? Be study buddies? Boring. Whatever, Mars mutters, tossing her. I'm just too mature for kids my age. The older kids get me, even if you don't. What is my... Oh, I can study once more. To get my toughness in combat up. We'll do this. It's field trip day. You and class visit the engine room, study how the ship works and how to use power every colony. Gruence joins you. If you want to know anything about how the ship works, she's your woman. Well, not woman exactly, but well, she's just very smart. Hello and welcome, children, Gruence chirps. You're standing in the beating heart of the colony, our ship's nuclear reactors. Don't worry, you're safely shielded from any radiation. My sensors are very sensitive. The power contained in these reactors is enough to sustain the colony for the next 20 years, Gruence explains. This should be more than enough time for us to develop an eco-friendly power source, such as wind, water, or solar. Boring, which would give me a -1 staff, or pay attention, 2 duplicates when drawn. Not exactly sure how that works, but find that out. Pay close attention to corridors as she explains how the stratospheric was salvaged by the Vertumen group and fitted with an artificial intelligence, produced herself, to guide you through the wormhole. Stratospheric was originally built as a vanity project of one of the very richest people on Earth, she explains, but it was never launched and eventually donated to a museum. The Vertumen group pooled their resources to acquire the ship, she continues. Funding the retrofit as a colony vessel required contributions from many people. most of whom could not join us for the journey. They were honored by the cryptopresent embryos we carried us to the stars. Crypto what now? Crypto-preserved embryos, Congruence repeats gently, donated by those who helped found the colony. Though they're not here with us, may their legacy continue with us. Your blank look continues slats. Perhaps this is a topic better suited for life sciences, or if you inquire further information through independent study with Chief Steward Sentient or Chief Engineer Instance. What happens if you break down? Well, hopefully that won't happen for quite some time, Congruence replies. Barring something physically incapacitating me, such as massive power failure or concerted attempt to destroy me, I'm naturally self-repairing, resistant to attempts to manipulate or infect me with viruses. Smiles. Don't worry about me, children. I'll likely teach you your great-great-great-grandchildren. And just listen from here. Wonderful work, everyone. You all paid attention very well today. Let's make this pop quiz much easier for you. Congruence's hollow projection erupts into fireworks at the word pop quiz. The class groans in unison. He just laughs over the speakers. Just kidding, she chirps, echoing through the engine room. You're free to go. Card becomes a 2, huh? If I go 3, 2, 2, 5, 5. It's a pity, Tang says, looking at you with barely conceived design. I almost thought you had a promise that next rusher, but you've let yourself become distracted. Damn, that requires a high stat check at this point. Dad wants to talk. Dust is such a dry, hot season. Both suns are high in the sky, baking the usually lush Vertumen jungle. There's a breeze, it's warm, and you guessed it, dusty. The parents are up every day before dawn, which comes far too early for your liking. They're usually gone by the time you wake up at home after your sleep, so you have to visit them at work if you want to see them. Good morning, Gooseberry, your dad greets you cheerily. Have you come to see the harvest? Your mom and I are gathering the crops from the actual Vertumen dirt this week. Sure, that sounds neat. Not really. I just miss you, Mom. Sure, that sounds neat. It shows you around the rows of corns and beans from Earth. They look a little yellow and scraggly, not what you expect. Your dad enthusiastically points out that vegetables are ready to harvest. Don't forget, he tells you, the Vertunia Festival is coming up. Be a talent shown at science fair. I'm sure you're eager to participate, Fillian. Relax. It's nice to take some time off to chill after all the stress of school and work. Not to mention the mental toll of just living on this unpredictable planet. Looks like you're not the only one that needs some downtime. Some other kids are also relaxing in the lounge. There's a disc, Calatami. Or get a card from stuff. Let's go with Mars and Diz. Okay, but you do stink, you hear Mars defend herself. It's not my fault that you can't tell. Maybe your nose stopped working, but the rest of us can smell it, and... She waves her hand in front of her nose and makes a PU gesture and turns to you. It smells awful, right, Selene? Bullying's no good. You stand toe-to-toe with Mars. She glares at you and then Diz. Ugh, fine, she says defeated. Sorry, Diz. I'm just trying to help. But I should have said it in a nicer way. Not everyone in life is going to tell you the truth, you know. Sure. Forget. Okay. It's time once more for Petunia. The mood of the colony has been muted this year ever since the attack during Glow. Though everything is still cheerfully decorated, the feast tables heavy with food. Mostly soy rations. This Petunia just feels different in a way you can't describe. Hollis scoured and scared for enters her speech. What your Petunia has given us, the governor begins in her weedy voice. I stand before you so proud of everything the colony has accomplished in such a short time. I've always hoped that we would bring us the best facets of humanity, cooperation, resilience, and creativity, and the events of this year have given me no reason to doubt my convictions. These creatures were unexpected, but I urge everyone to consider what it means for life here. If our tumor can sustain megafauna, that means conditions are good for us as well. Our friends in geoponics are already working on the logistics of domesticating wildlife. Your dad, as such cultivator, stands and gives a sheepish wave to the crowd. There's a smattering of applause. Mars elbows you. Hey, she whispers, did you hear? My dad say Etiquette's going to announce the depot's open to the public. Shoot her a questioning look and she rolls her eyes. You know, shopping. Somewhere to spend all the kudos we've been saving up. There's going to be candy and toys and makeup and nice smelling soap. Not the boring kind the communal showers. You know the concept of shopping. They do it in the hollowids of Earth, especially the ones Mars-like. You've never actually done it. The colony provides everything you need. But it would be nice to buy yourself a treat. My dad's giving me allowance, Mars says, shooting you a look of pity. It's too bad your parents make you work for yours. You Mars tune back into the speeches just as Etiquette predicted. Announces the opening of the general store in Depot Mars. Mars gives you a knowing look as she claps. Etiquette gestures for the council's men to understand. Finally, the council remains unchanged from last year. We are, as always, proud to serve you and the colony as your government. The music starts up and Etiquette finishes. Thank you all for your hard work and your perseverance this year, she says over the ruckus. Together, we build a future. Cloud disperses and sets up the annual Vitremia Games. Just like last year, there's a talent show, a science fair, bot wrestling, now with an obstacle course. What should you participate this year? I have enough creativity for that. I will continue with my science. Compare for science fair is predictably tangent. Her project is on the tensile strength of various building materials, including that mushroom is the best choice when you consider not just strength, but it's sustainably and easy to use. Mary flakes out this year on her actual project. Her booth is nicely decorated. She spent so long on the decorations that she didn't have any time to do an experiment. Judges want to know what you've been working on. I don't know if I'm going to manage this. Let's see. Push through with some stress. Secret, you've been working on a social experiment about delayed gratification. You've been sneakily studying the adults, taking notes on their snacking habits and their mood. You found that Seek and Dr. Instance rarely eat sweets, but Utopia and Antecedent do all the time. Correlate this attention span and you see that they're tackling frustrating problems. You know, problems you can control and repeat, like if a child talks back to them. The judge is impressed with your mythology. Instance perhaps a little begrudgingly. They award you first place. After the festivity is over, everyone takes time off for a much-needed break. Mars organizes a water fight that takes over the whole colony, even the adults. Brightens everyone's spirits, even in the thick heat of dust. You end up on top of the western wall, which is launching water-filled hoof streams down on an unexpected mountain and sports bra result. Walls seem like a neat place to hang out and relax. Much quieter than the lounge if you're looking for some solitude. I assume I don't have item sets for this. Yeah. Need 40 for that. So much math. It's everywhere. Physics is math, computers run on math, electricity, mechanical engineering, chemistry, and anything due to space, math. And everything is some equation or other. Calculate how to turn one thing into something else, or tell how efficient something is. I should have just called this whole branch of science mathinaring. Let's see, +5 kudos if it equals the goal. Yeah, whatever. I'll just crush the goal. Yeah, there's a general store somewhere. I'll go find that moment. Tangent is deep in conversation with one of the other scientists. Seems to be consoling her, though Tangent's face betrays no emotion as he clasps on her shoulder and reassures her that she's doing really well for someone so young, and that everyone comprised some of their samples when they were first learning. He leaves, and Tangent sighs as she goes and puts her head in her hands, stopping short when she's realized she's still wearing gloves. She peels them off and digs her fingers into her eyes. Are you okay, Tangent? I'm fine, Tangent replies immediately. I compromised an experiment I was working on because the vent was still open when I was spraying the workstation down with sanitizer. She sniffs. It's so gross in here, she says. Probably did that fungus of paper. Tangent takes a bottle of sanitizer from under her workbench and cleans while she speaks. There are pollen spores everywhere, she whines. He comes over here and tells me it'll be okay, Tang, like his job to counsel and patronize me. Being patronized too, what's wrong with him being nice? But it is okay to make mistakes. Let's go with that one. Tangent shoves the sanitizer back under her workbench. Don't you understand, she says, frustration slipping in her voice. If we never feel the pain of failure, if there's no cost to it, why would we ever improve? I need to own my own mistakes. What I don't need, she continues icily, is someone to pat me on the head and tell me it's okay, and the adults will make it all better. I messed up, she says. Just let me fix it. Don't make a big deal about it and act like I'm a child with a boo-boo. I'm guessing the general store is this building? Yep. Have enough to one thing. Buy a cake for someone. So see, now I have enough to deliver supplies, so I guess I'll give that a try once. Chief of Mr. Street gives you the bonus. They look you up and down. Selene, you never struck me as particularly responsible or organized. But children never are. What makes you think you'd be a good fit for the position of courier? You didn't realize there'd be a job interview. I can carry a lot? Strong for your age, maybe. Lucky for you, you're the only applicant this week. You got the job, for now anyway. They use their elegant stylus to make note of their halopalm. Go back in a few minutes and you can help make deliveries. Yes, there will be kudos in it for you if you do it correctly. Zeke sends you all around the colony delivering supplies. During your first week, it's mostly small things you can carry by hand or push on a little cart, stuff like tools and electronics. Some are high priority, which means you have to move fast. It's fun getting to yell, "Important delivery coming through!" and people actually getting out of the way. Ah, got exactly. Lots of kudos. Give you an egg for your birthday. Ha ha ha. Ugh, what do you expect me to do this? Apparently you don't like eggs. Well, fine. What's my reasoning at? Still only 29. To further your engineering knowledge, you're taking a mini-class with Chief Engineer Instance on the construction and maintenance of your holopalms. These devices are engineered bismuth crystals embedded in your palms when you start school. They use the heat and electronic current of the human body to power themselves, to talk to each other, and connect to the holonet, Earth's massive repository of information. You can barely remember life before yours. Holopalms were commonplace by the time Vitrimigears were formed on Earth, and the square bismuth is grown in lab, explains. So the physical device itself isn't hard to maintain. The difficulty is in the display and touch interfaces. Instance opens her holopalm, displaying a visibly projected screen floating in Balverbaum. As chief engineer, she also has one of the fancier versions that combines with a pair of eyeglasses to superimpose the projection right into what she sees. The interface relies on plasma voxel generators, which require extremely small components that are impossible to nanoprint. The material will have to be mined from the Verterma itself. Tang raises her hand. Is it possible to hack these devices, she asks? If the biological electronic interface is so thin, is it possible to hack the human body? In a way, we've already begun to hack the human body, Instance replies. What do you call genotech? Everything the body does is capable, depends on foreign nuclear bases in different configurations. It's no different than concurrence. Human and artificial intelligence are both built from limited code and transformed into more by building. Your genetic enhancements, super hearing and sight, temperature regulations, increased resistance to fear, disease, and fatigue, all persistent in the human genome, are unlocked by the power of science. The class splits into working groups and explore installing modules in your holopalm. You and Tangent are in a group together. She begins installing a mod that will let her scan inorganic materials and get a reading of their chemical compositions. What do? Try to download your own mod? Just learn it for dinner. I'm going to download my own mod. Tang raises her eyebrow impressed. What module do you choose? Nanogram puzzle game? Something to help find lost objects? Radar speed gun? A bacteria sniffing sensor? Let's help find lost objects. Ding! A portion of Congruent's immense and miraculous intelligence will now be dedicated to making sure you never lose your canteen or sunglasses. Isn't technology great? New perk. Engineering level 1. Extra card draw. Draw an extra card at the start of the challenge. Effect stacks. Okay. Ah. I see. On the skill tree, there are tabs on all of these. I got to engineering 35-ish? Looks like I'm not far from the reasoning one as well. So I'll do my little loop. Let's continue to push on to get the reasoning perk. The classroom's projector breaks down mid-lesson, and Hal pivots the lesson to make it about how to fix a 3D hologram projector instead. He explains that because holo projectors are so complicated, the colony can't just make a new one. Things like holo projectors, hoverboards, and gene tech need to be fixed, not just replaced like they would have been back on Earth. One slot will turn cards blue. Two, blue. 5, 4. That's my reasoning perk. Mid-wet. Late wet. New perk. Blue cards get +1 in mental challenges. Half stress. Probably a bad idea. Let's sneak out. I haven't done that in a bit. The planet is full of all sorts of bugs, little wrigglers, hopping beetles, shining creepers, and snaily things. Oh my. You crouch in the long grasses and explore a square meter into Great Teal. There's so much to see, you don't even know what any of these things are. They might not even have names yet. Touching one seems like a dumb idea. Let's just watch. You stare with big eyes at the wonders of the nature world. You spot suspiciously regular amount of dirt. Maybe something's buried there. Could be dangerous, though. Sticks are good ideas. You cautiously break off a branch and prod the suspicious mount, watching closely signs for movement. Nothing. You poke further and discover it's in fact a regular pile of dirt. Nothing more. Do one more of these. Let's go off-road for this one. Geoponics engineers have set up a worksite here using the robo-plow to tear up the ground and prep it for farming. You don't want them to see you, they'll send you home for sure. Let's sneak past them. I know it won't change anything, I don't have the energy. Take that, Super Gold. You skulk under the trees at the edge of the operation. The loud grinding of the RoboPie hides any noise you might have made. What happens if I just keep pushing on? At the top rays of your east, you think you spot someone watching you. Pressing back. Is that Diz? You're like way too tall to be Diz. Maybe another surveyor? You blink and the figure is on. It must have been your imagination. Odds out here beat spooky, but you aren't scared. Too worn out, you have to go home. You crawl through the big drain pipe behind the sports ball pitch and carefully slide the metal crate back into place. Carefully then, gently clear the post is clear. Hop out of the pipe. I'm glad I guess I have perception. Good thing too, because Uncle Torian is passing by on his way home to the garrison. Curl up in the shadows, wait for him to leave. That was close. There's a commotion in the square. An expeditionist vehicle has driven through the gates and is idling in the middle of the square. Unusual sight. People come down from command and investigate. Utopia gets out of the vehicle and trudges over to Etiquette. For a brief conversation, you see Etiquette gesture for people to unload the vehicle and clear the area. You stay out of the way and see what they're unloading. It's a body. Chief Severus Tonin's body. Someone quickly covers him with a sheet, but not before you the image of his torn open body is seared into your memory. However he died, it was violent and bloody. You feel your stomach cramp with nausea. What happened? Diz asks, coming over to crouch around the corner with you. You sure that Uncle Tonin is dead? He stares at the sheet-covered body intensely, as if he could see through it. Did they say how? They'll never tell us the truth anyway. I'm sure they'll tell us later. I just saw him alive. Nobody will tell the kids what really happened. Did something eat him? Did he get lost and fall off a cliff? Did they even know? Diz nods, frowning. They don't want us to know about the monsters and other worse stuff. They want us to think that everything is fine, but it's not. This planet isn't as nice as they say it is. He shakes his head. They hate that they can't control us. You and Diz watch the adults as they carry Uncle Tonin's body away. In the way he's practically vibrating, you can tell Diz wants to ask a few more questions about what happened. After a few awkward minutes, he sneaks away without saying anything, probably to take a good look at the body. Someone's going to have to tell Tammy. You're glad it's not you. Tammy and her dad were really close, and now she's an orphan. You watch Utopia bend over to get a hug from Etiquette, wiping her eyes as she finally cries. Etiquette had never been the most comfortable presence in your life, but it seems to help. Utopia will probably be the next chief surveyor. At 24, she'll be the youngest council member. She's only a toddler when Stratosphere left Earth. Apparently her sharp eye and hoverbike flying skills are the best in the expeditions. Oh, I can finally dare him to eat a worm. Oh yeah, discounters? Well, I double dare you to eat a worm. Can't just turn down a double dare. Nyom. Slimy, unsatisfying, very, very gross. Diz eats his like a noodle, slurping it up and wrinkling his nose as it wriggles in his mouth. Yuck, he says, swallowing it whole, then shows you his empty mouth. Should have known better to dare a person who fears nothing. I don't know, organizing. Relax near the walls. So you can still argue bravery, huh? But I need a nap so I can just be stressed out in general. Lots of kids treat the lounge as an informal study hall, especially Tangent. Mars too, sometimes if she's trying to impress Tangent. Crack open a textbook on your holopound and read about some old Death Earth poets. Just because you're not in class doesn't mean you can't read ahead a little bit. Been a quiet glow, but the grim, surreal darkness of the season reminds you of last year's violence. As the month wears on, you overhear arguments at dinner. Adults worrying that the attack is still coming, and others who think the first one was a fluke. Surveyors mention seeing new tracks in the forest, but are shushed so people don't panic. The gates are closed. You drill emergency procedures, filling soundlessly from the classroom to hide under tables, waiting for the silence to sound all clear. You drill and prepare and worry, but nothing happens. Then, just as glow is starting to wane, the toxic purple spill of the wormhole is fading and the sun's almost past horizon, sirens start. You're reading a hollow novel in bed when you hear them, followed by the stomp of boots down the hallway of the quarters. An alert flashes on your holopalm. Shelter and crush. This is not a girl. You get another message from your dad. Me and Mom are going to stay in the greenhouses. We're safe. Just follow Aunt Anne into the crash and wait for us. Don't worry. We're more prepared than we were last year. Love you. Stay safe. You could go to the crash where you belong, or you could follow security guards and see what's happening at the gates. Screw following command. You sneak out of the living quarters and head towards the gate. You're immediately spotted by security chief rat, who stops what he's doing and yells at you, gesturing angrily. What the heck are you doing out here? There's no place for kids. Get your ass back inside. I'm gonna try to help. Good start to help. You stick around the outside of the skirmish at the gates, throwing rocks and yelling at any creature that gets too close. You're not sure if it'll make a difference, but the good news is, at least you're not injured. When the dust clears, Rhett spots you hiding in the shadows and personally escorts you back to your quarters, where your mom and dad penalize you for disobeying them. When things have calmed down, you overhear your parents arguing. I'm not going to the first congratulate Rhett, but all of his defensive proofs were exactly what we knew wrong, grumbles. He's going to be insufferable at the next council meeting. Your dad pats her hand. Credits due or credits due. Lulabelle, he says as she smiles to Spicer. Could have been worse. Your mom nods and they both sit in silence before your dad speaks. Poor Hal, he says. What a way to go. Aw, Professor Hal's dead now. Your parents sorrow. Hey, Pumpkinhead, your dad says. Yeah, they're gonna announce it in a few hours, after everyone's had a chance to calm down. He didn't make it. What happened? Don't worry about that, your mom replies, shooting your dad a look to keep him from talking. It's adult stuff, okay? You guys won't be able to go into the engineering wing for a little bit, not until it's decontaminated. Ooh. You curl up quietly, think, Professor Hal can't just die. He can't just be gone. He's your teacher. And the engineering wing is where you take your classes. You can't imagine something bad happening in such a safe space. You fall asleep thinking for sure there's been some sort of mistake. Okay, talk to you about your dead father, I assume? Tammy has barely left the lounge since her father died. You often see her solemn face in the windows peering out at the colony like a ghost. She hardly talks to anyone unless they talk to her first. Yeah, go talk to her first. Tammy looks up from the sewing she's aimlessly fiddling with. She gives you a watery smile. It's clear she's been crying. Hello, Selene, she says, wiping her face. Is everything okay? Typical Tammy. Even in her saddest moments, she wants to know if she can help you. Do you want to talk? Tammy brightens a little. Okay, Selene, what do you want to talk about? You tell her that you want to talk about how she's been feeling lately, and her face falls again. Oh, she mumbles. Okay, I guess. I'm kind of being a downer right now. Sorry. With that, Tammy starts to cry again. Her whole body curls up as she sobs, trying to hide her face in her hands so she doesn't upset anyone in the lounge. I think I'll go with I miss him too. You meant that you feel the same way, that you miss him terribly, and that sometimes all you want to do is cry too. She holds her arms out and you both cling to each other as you have a really good try, letting out all your pain and your grief as you share each other's loss. It helps to just sit in your feelings for a little while. Uncle Tony may be gone, but your friend Tammy is still here. You slip through the colony gates, feeling a breeze from the mushroom forest ruffle your hair. You look around for Jis, but he's nowhere to be seen. Maybe he went to class today? Probably not. As you're about to return to the colony, you hear what sounds like crying coming from one of exposition videos. You pull back a tarp that keeps it from being blanketed with fungal spores, and you find Jis curled up in the cabin. He wipes his eyes and turns away. Go away, he mutters. Are you okay? I'm fine, Jis sniffles. Just leave me alone. I do not have a conversation. Do you want to talk about it? Why don't you go ask my sister? Chang is so mature. She knows everything. Just a sensible little crybaby who doesn't know anything. He just wraps his arm around his legs and hides his face in his knees. I hate her, he mutters. Everyone thinks she's so smart, but she's just a big meanie. I hate everyone here. I hate being here. I just want to be left alone. He rubs his nose on his sleeve. Except for you, I guess. Sometimes it feels like you're the only person who has ever tried to be my friend. And you, I assume we can talk about Professor Hal with. Tangent is storming around the quad in front of engineering, checking notes on her Halpalm, gesturing and grunting frustrated. This is the worst. What's the matter? I can't possibly, she says, her voice cracking. She seems too upset to explain it. Professor Hal, she tries again. Hal, he's helping me with this physics chapter, and now he's... She throws her hand in the air, a virtual hologram screams flying over it. I can't understand this without him. This is impossible, she chokes out. Why did he have to die? Listen to, give Tang a hug. Try a hug with her. We're decently close, I guess. She, stiffens and lets you hold her. You can feel her shaking. You think she might be crying, but when she finally pulls away, her eyes are dry. Thank you, Selene, she says. I know you're having a hard time with this as well. Nothing is easy on Vertuma. When even the adults can't protect themselves, it's obvious we're going to have to do our own out there. And I can help her study. Tang looks like she's about to decline, but then gives you a considering look. Thank you, Selene. We might not be able to rely on the adults, but we're not alone in this. I have you. I believe I was told I can't do anything in here right now. Oh, but I can. Think I can walk out the front door now? Step cautiously through the colony gates. Selene, how's this going, little partner? She's surveilling Utopia, steps casually out to bar your way from making it accidental. Well there, I don't know if you're ready to head out there and join the surveyors, is it? Why don't you scale and stick the sports ball inside the walls for now? She rubs her nipples into your scalp and sends you on your way. Let's see what happens if I choose this. I'll be, Toad draws, grappling paper. You ain't lying, kid. You got grit. Listen, she tells you. I'll speak to your parent. You're still a bit young, but I wager next year you can join this journey surveyor stream art. Alright? Just hold tight until then. Sorry. Objected, you drag your feet as you walk back through the gates safely. Well, there's still Drizz's secret way out the drain pipe near the garrison. They also won't let you visit the Valley of Bargos, or the Squacious Sauce, or the other cool places older surveyors get to yet. You can still sneak your way through and just explore outside the colony walls. Well, let's see how this goes without my teacher. family is still reeling from Professor Hal's death. You're not sure what to expect when you go to Callis today. You take your seat in the classroom. Chief Engineer Instance is chatting near the front with Tangent. But as the class fills up, Tang returns to her seat and Instance fires up Congruence's hollow projection. Alright, listen up, Instance says. Congruence is expensive as hell to run in an interactive mode, but you'll have to do as your teacher for now. I'm far too busy to be teaching children. Today, Congruence teaches you about machine learning and development of artificial intelligence. Congruence has been part of your life for as long as you can remember. It's hard to imagine a time when people didn't have access to such powerful, all-knowing intelligence. How did people used to learn anything? +1 to blue cards, random card slot locked. So the 3's locked at the end. It's the highest one. Especially if I decide to do this. You've been having weird dreams as usual. They seem to get worse around glow. You wake from a dream that has tears drying on your face, that you can't remember why, just that you were terrified. Whatever it was, it felt real enough that for a moment you'd just lie in your bed with your eyes closed and try to calm your breathing. You blurrily rub your eyes and... Surprise! So it's your birthday. Your dad leaps on your bed and gives you a big cuddle. Happy birthday, little tomato head. 12 years old. Wow, can you believe it? No, your mom answers for you laughing as she hands you your presents. It's just yesterday, Aunt was showing me how to change your diaper. Because it's your birthday, your parents have brought in food from the canteen so you can all eat together on your bed. As you stuff your face with savory tofu chunks, you open your presents. Which one is your favorite? Bouquet of exotic flowers from your mom. Stuffed xenofauna from your dad. Or a photographer from your best friend. I think I have a lot of yellow cards, so let's go with the red card one. I taught the nanoprint in the pattern based off pictures from expeditions, your dad says, watching you play with it. They called a spectrometer, he continues. See, it looks like it's wearing glasses on top of its 5 eyes. They said it's because the lenses are outside of its eyeballs. Isn't that wild? Nothing like that on Earth. As your dad clears away the wrapping paper and the dishes from breakfast, your mom folds her hands on the table and gives you a serious look. Uh-oh. So, she says, we've been here 2 years now. I know your dad and I have always said you're in charge yourself, but we've been keeping an eye on you. A loving eye, your dad injects stuffing wrapping paper into the recycling bin. Trusting, gentle eye. Professor Hal used to tell us all the time about how hard you were trying at school, your mom continues. That's great. Your dad and I are really proud of you. Working might seem fun and grown up when you're a kid, but if you want to do more than manual labor, you'll need some book smarts too. Your dad joins in again. So it's time to start thinking about how you're going to contribute to the colony when you're older. At the look at your face, he laughs. Don't worry, we're not going to make you get a job right now. We're just asking what you want to be when you grow up. Farmer like you two? Nope, I can't do that. A teacher like Professor Hal? I could do that. Parent with like 10 kids? Could do that. I have enough for 30 apparently. Captain of the sports ball team? Could do that. Famous idol? A monster hunter? Governor? Have to decide right now. I don't have nothing for engineering, huh? What will mess with my parents the most? Yeah, I can just go with the teacher for now. Mom smiles sadly. I'm sure he would have loved to hear that. The colony needs someone as passionate as teaching as he was. Well, your mom starts to get up. Sure, your friends all want to wish you a happy birthday. She stops and snaps her fingers. Oh, you might not have been considered a career as a depot clerk, but Al and Bernie mentioned their daughter Mars is working there. She needs some help. Now that people can freely order luxuries, it's pretty busy there. Sure beats shoveling dirt, your dad laughs. You don't take that job. You'll tell Mars I'll be right there. Your mom rolls her eyes and smiles. Hmm. Just continue my engineering route, I guess. It seems good to just keep focusing on something. You should have known better, Tangent, you hear as you walk past the laboratory. Curious, you listen to the door. Chief Engineer instant sighs. I know you meant well, but your presumption has cost us 3 months of work. You can't simply look at an experiment and change the parameters you're liking. Getting results is not the same as doing good science. Your findings, however scientifically interesting, are useless without sound methodological underpinnings. Tang's response is more subdued than you ever heard her before. I'm sorry, Chief Engineer, she mumbles, looking down at the floor. I recognize the error of my ways. I should hope so, Instant replies, pitching the bridge in her nose with her fingers. I expect you to be in the lab first thing tomorrow morning, and I'll personally supervise your work in resetting the experiment. You flatten against the wall as Instant breezes past you, barely giving you a second look as she strides down the hallway. You poke your head inside the laboratory where Tang scowls and wipes her eyes. What do you want? What are you working on? Cheer up. Be better the second time around. Yeah, let's go with that. Tang nods. You're right. The first experiment was plagued by inefficiencies, she says, pushing herself off the apparatus. That's why I changed it in the first place. The new experiment, I can eliminate those inefficiencies from the start. Thank you, Selene. You have saved me 3 months of work. Losing the data was my fault, Tang continues. I wanted to prove I'm not the little kid from biology class, that I'm ready to work hard and really make great discoveries. Dr. Insys has always been there for me. When I was a kid, and now, when my mother's gone, she's the only adult in the colony who sees what I could become, she says. She believes what I can be better than what I am. I've always been that way. I just really want to impress her. You will. Tang hugs and agree with. I sure hope so. Get to work. Well, that should be easy enough. So I should have the time to finish out this year. That will probably be a good stopping point at that point. Especially if no one has anything super interesting to talk to me about. Just continue studying engineering. So much math. It's everything, and I've read this one before. Sweet. Plus 5 kudos if it equals the goals. I need to get 20. Anything anyone wants to say to me? Doesn't look like it. I have quarry reasoning yet? Nope, not quite. The night sky in Vertuma is like no star chart in the hollow archives you brought from Earth. You're not even certain if the stars you're seeing are new ones entirely, or if the same ones you've seen from a different angle, but the wormhole actually spat you out as a mystery. You know, some of the adults are working on reading radiation levels from various stars, guessing which ones they are, and using them to triangulate where you are. It's a downright frightening amount of math. Just need to get it, huh? dad comes back from work one day looking seriously under the weather. He's pale with deep circles under his eyes and he keeps sneezing. It's fine, he insists. It's just all this pollen in the air. It's gunking up the old air tubes. Do you remember hay fever? Flu? We always got it back on Earth, too. Your mom frowns and claws his arm. We did, she agrees. So why isn't it bothering me? You're a lot tougher than me, sweet pea, your dad says, and your mom rolls her eyes. I'm sure I just have to get used to it like you did. He continues. Maybe I'll go for a stroll outside the gates later and really get a good lungful of the stuff. Feel bad for a few weeks, but after that I'll be fine. Your mom raises both eyebrows. Outside of the gates? You? Your dad shrugs, then he falls into his sneezing fit and can't answer. Your mom directs him to go lie in the bed. You need rest, not machoism, she scolds him. I don't have a achoo! Your dad sneezes. A macho bone in my body. Foo-foo. And I have to fertilize the corn and the pixie beans this week. Uh-huh, your mom grunts. Your dad pulls a handkerchief from his pocket and sneezes into it a few times. The big yelling honk sneezes into the echoed roll quarters. He pulls it away from his face and you can tell that something's wrong. Huh. Your dad says weakly, holding the handkerchief away from his face. It's bright red fuchsia pink and glittering in the light. That's weird. His eyes roll back in his head, his knees buckle. Your mom yells for you to call instance. Chief Engineer instance takes your dad's vitals and gives him a cursory look over. She seems satisfied with what she's seeing without having to do a thorough examination. The explorers have started calling this shimmer, she says, shining a light down your dad's throat. It's looking a little better, but not much. It's an airborne environmental toxin, likely in the pollen fog. Will he be okay? Dad? It doesn't seem to cause long-term damage to the body, Instance explains. She gestures in the air, making notes on the hollow eye she can see. Been tracking its effects for 3 seasons now. The toxin is flushed out of the body after 3 to 5 days, and it's not contagious. She looks down at your father. What it means for you, Geranium, since you're particularly susceptible to toxin, is you're taking better pains to avoid exposure. You must go outside during pollen, use a respirator. Your dad smiles weakly. You got it, boss, he says. Your mom smiles and put her hand over his. As your literal boss, I'm ordering you not to come to work for the rest of the week, she says. You're on strict bed rest. She leans in to touch her forehead to his. They stay like that, smiling with breathe. Even after one day's bed rest, your dad's looking a lot better. He's clearly anxious to get back out in the fields. You love this new crap, Celine. It's called Pixie Bean. They glow in the dark. He's already pulling on his boots. Fields look so beautiful at night. I'm happy that we're finally found something that will actually grow here that isn't soy, and more soy. Your hello pump pulses with a message from Tang. Hello, Celine. You're not occupied. Could I ask your assistance in the lab? Thanks to Vess. Tangent. Typical Tang, but her asking for help was something so rare that you can't help but head over right away. You find her hunched over a spectrometer, making notes on the holoscreen. Oh, you're here, she says, blinking rapidly. She looks like she's been awake for days, wrinkled, a little shiny, and with the wild-eyed look of someone who needs a cup of bleep tea. Amos is good, just happen to be nearby. How can I help? This one. I'm researching this shimmer, the respiratory illness that some people report during pollen, she says. I'm loath to admit it, but I need your assistance. She takes 4 files with swabs inside and puts them into your hands. I need recent saliva samples from both you and your father, she says. There must be a reason why he's so susceptible to shimmer and you're not. You share half of your genetic code with him. There must be some marker we can compare between the 2 samples. Then, she continues pulling another vial from the rack of testers. Administer this to yourselves. Wait 3 days and take the samples again. That should be able to determine if anything in your body chemistry has changed. Tang looks at you very seriously, cutting through her varying expression. There's something going on here, she whispers. Something really big. I begin to realize this is about more than just curing a disease. She squeezes your hand so hard it almost hurts. Unlocking the secrets of Shimmer, who it affects, and why, it could lead to a greater understanding of all life in Fortuna. And knowledge. Knowledge is more than power, Celine. It's control. Okay, I'll do it. Thank you, Tang says. I've been searching so hard I think my eyes are going to fall out of my head. For what? Well, for the end of debilitating disease is a pretty good reason, but Tang just shakes her head at herself before you can answer. We're at a disadvantage here, she mutters. We're fighting blind. We need to understand this planet if we're going to get it under control. Let's continue my engineering. This month, you explore making electronic music, and I've read this before. Just need to get to 20. Should be easy enough. Stress is 90. I don't do playing. I only have enough for this. After I have tangent with schoolwork, but she just shrugs you off. I'm not working on school anymore, she says. Chief Enterprises says I'm smart for my age. My talents are wasted on school. She opens her halopon and shows you some of her live notes. Ugh, it's so much work though. She complains, honestly, maybe it would be better to be like everyone else. Unintelligent people seem happier. Just then, I'm riding Nougat go tearing by with a sports ball, hollering at the top of their lungs. Tinctures. Second thought, forget that I said that. Keep on being smart, thank you. What's the next thing I need to get in here? Reasoning 80. Planets like a body, Tang muses. We're foreign invaders, so much like a virus. Also like a virus, we seek to appropriate the system of this planet for our own gain. Co-opting its growing cycles, using its resources to build, etc. She crosses her arm, looks thoughtfully towards the wilderness. Any wonder we've prompted an immune response? Time to relax some. I'll continue just hanging out with Tangent. Tangent is quietly reading her halopon. We pop down beside her and ask what she's reading. You're like multicellular biology, she says, frowning at the interruption. You insist on sitting near me. Could you at least do it quietly? No problem. You open up your halopon and find a textbook of older poetry to read. It's never a bad idea to do a little infant study. If she's a little prickly, you can tell Tang appreciates the company. You're new. Just continue burning through engineering. See if I can't just get to that second perk. Five bonus if I equal. That's not quite enough. That's gonna be too much. There we go. It's time for the third annual Virtuia Festival. You gather with your family at the Colony Square. Everyone takes a seat as Governor Etiquette finishes the stage. She folds her hands and serenely addresses the crowd. What a pleasure to address you all today as your governor, she says, looking pleased as she ever does. After 3 years, we've built a colony in which we can truly be proud. While we've suffered hardships and losses, we remain standing, as always looking towards the future we are building together. Let's use this Midsummer Festival as time to reflect on our many blessings, Etiquette continues. Fresh water, good food, healthy children, and strong community. Etiquette bows her head, but first, let us remember Professor Halitosis, who guided our children and kept our engines running for so many years. Chief Engineer Instance will be filling in with help from our ship's AI endurance. Still, someone could take up the mantle that rested so easily on Hal's broad shoulders. We also recognize the passing of our dear friend Chief Surveyor Meltonin. Known for his gentle nature and curious spirits, Tonin is survived by his daughter Aspartame. In the crowd, Tammy sniffles loudly. In his place, we welcome our youngest council member ever, Utopia, representing expeditions. Etiquette invites the rest of council to stand and be recognized among the crowd, including your mom, who huffs in annoyance. When the applause dies down and the council sits, Utopia remains standing. Actually, Etiquette, if you mind if I just make a quick announcement. Etiquette nods and Utopia clears her throat. I just want to say thanks to all who are trusting me with this job, she says, her clear voice ringing out over the crowd. The cheer rises from expeditions and the emotions from the quiet down. Uncle Tonin has left some big shoes to fill, and, well, I'm going to give it my best. We're fixing to get to the bottom of what we're calling the shimmer, the sniffles folks have been getting during the pollen, Utopia continues. Until we do, please keep on wearing your masks when the pollen is thick. Let Doc know if you're under the weather. She bends down to hug the governor as she leaves the stage. Thank you, Utopia, Etiquette says warmly, and thank you to the rest of the council for their service. Live music starts playing and Etiquette smiles. And now it's time for games and feasting. The crowd disperses towards the feasting table, clearing the area of chillers so the children's competitions can be held. What do you do this year? Can't do anything but the science fair. Tangent's problem involves how the surveyor's gliders work, something to do with the materials they're made from reacting magnetic field of the planet combined with solar energy collected from wings. You tune her out, only zoning back when Tang stumbles through one of the judge's technical questions. You catch her look of pain and frustration as she realizes she doesn't know the answer. Tammy's experiment is a tray of lumpy, misshapen, half-melted marshmallows. She says she wanted to find a fertility intelligent marshmallows using aquafaba instead of gelatin or eggs like they would on Earth. She says she had a successful version, but she ate it because she was so anxious about her presentation. Judges, turn to you next. That will work there. You do an egg drop experiment, taking fragile crystalline grass and designing 4 different ways to protect them from breaking after a long fall. 2 break, but 2 succeed. Your experiment is only a simple demonstration of physics, but the judges excited you to award for choosing something within your capabilities and doing it well. Tang is frustrated, but she more herself than you. She's not used to failure. Though I've won the science fair 3 years in a row now. She should be. After the facilities, you take time off for much needed relax and break. It sets up a slip and slide through the colony square, and everyone takes turns sliding on their stomachs, spraying water at each other. It's a lot of fun. You can feel your worries floating away in the hot dust suns. Tammy is sitting on a little stool in the sun, reading a fairy tale picture book on her hollow palm. She sighs. Stop asking her if she's okay and just try to have normal conversations with her. Well, it's a bunch of stories. She flips through the pages. They're all about princes and princesses. And look, the princes are always the taller one. I'm so big. I'm even taller than Cal is. How can you be my prince if I'm bigger than him? It's true. Tammy is the tallest kid you know. Taller than boys, even Cal, who's a year older. You know she and Cal are close friends, but you never thought of him as her prince before. Apparently, I can flirt with Tammy at this point. They'll catch up. Being tall is awesome. Cal wouldn't want to be a prince anyway. Forget Cal, I like you just the way you are. Let's just go with the being tall is awesome at this point. You list off the things you can think of. You can reach high things, hit red spikes and sports ball, and see over people's head in crowds, but you tell her tall people give the most amazing hugs. She goes for the bait and gives you a big hug. Thanks, Celine. You're a good friend. This should unlock my next engineering part. Garrett is everywhere at all times, and everyone's hollow palms, guiding destroyers, and doing calculations in the lab. And yet, she's never impatient or too busy to help you, even if you bombarded her with questions. One day, you ask her what she dreams about. She tells you that she dreams about electric sheep, naturally. Yeah, it's the next engineering perk. Let's get me another bonus starting card. Oh, shop gadgets. New cards in the depot. Well, that seems good. This doesn't seem bad either. Perhaps I will continue to save up just to get plus 15 to all skills. Mm, 2.5 years in. I can also focus on it a bit more with babysitting. I have bonuses to karma right now, don't I? Yeah, maybe I'll focus on karma for a little bit. Or kudos. Babysitting gets me a decent chunk of it. Cal spends a lot of time in the creche when he's not busy in the gardens. He likes to bring Tammy things to make her happy, even if it's just a warm cup of soup from the kitchens or a weird bug he found. Tammy's always really happy to see him, though, and treats every present like it's the best thing on the planet. 5 if it equals the goal. 1, 2, 3. It's only 10 right now. It's too much. Swap these two. That's one too little. That works. $24 kudos. That's a good number. Really wet. I know it's your birthday. Oh, hey, Celine, Mara says, breezing past you. I'm sorry, I can't talk now. I'm working. On my way to work, man. She stops you when you don't sound amazed up. You know, the supply depot, she figured. The most important job in the whole colony? Anything that gets made here goes through me first. Mars' smug smile somehow is even more smug. Plus, I get first pick at all this stuff. Wow, that's amazing. You lay it on really thick how Mars is just so cool, how everything she does is really great, and how she's obviously the most important person in the colony. You're gonna start Mars fan club around her. She just laughs. Nice try, Celine. Thanks for the compliments. Then she just leaves without even offering to help you get a job. Drat. Second Mars didn't work. What's next? Actually have to ask for what you want? Maybe you can try again later. No, she didn't like eggs. Let's try a flower. I had better birthday gifts. It's fireside room of the breath. This looks nice in my hair, I think. Thank you. Oh, at least she didn't hate that this year. I have no clue when your birthday is. Still have bonus kudo time, so time to do a little more babysitting. Most kids in the crush go home at the end of the workday to be with their parents, but some live there full time. And triplets, for example, as well as orphans from the wormhole crash, and children whose parents have simply opted to have them raised in the communally instead. You've heard that orphanage on Earth could be troubled, but here in the crush, everyone is cared for equally. They're lucky, in a sense. In the crush, they have a huge family and so many siblings to play with. You and Tammy are putting 2 of these crush kids to bed. Tammy is cuddled up with one of them, reading a book out loud. Tonight's story, Tammy begins, is about one little Vecubot named Litter. One night while Litter was charging, there was a power surge in her charging station. Zip! Tammy tickles the children for emphasis. And the next morning when Litter woke up, well, instead of cleaning, she decided to go on a grand adventure. Tammy makes the story up as she goes. She has a Vecubot venture all the way out of her genoponics dome to the other side of the colony to meet her cousin bots in engineering. Everything goes wrong and the little Vecubot gets scared and lost. After Captain Eticut saves her from and brings her back to genoponics, the Vecubot vows to never go exploring again and lives happily ever after. The 2 kids are sound asleep. You're so great with kids. Thanks, Elaine, Tammy blushes. I can't wait to have kids of my own. I want at least 5. Maybe even more even. Annie says I could have as many as I want, and she and the other crush parents will help raise them all together. I think I like that. Okay. Let's just be boring. Nice, simple win. Alright. Kudos bonus is done. I guess it's just back to engineering for me. I don't even need to try this. Run around again, see if anyone has anything to say. Does it look like it? Now let's continue questing this. Colony's robots are definitely feeling the strain of life on Vertuma. Though far less advanced than the currents, they're still too complicated to simply nanoprint new ones. Every time one goes permanently out of commission, life on the colony gets a little bit harder. You study their inert bodies in class, trying to figure out how to prolong the lives of the ones you have left, or possibly make new ones. And time for the glow. Approaching the end of the year. And the time of year I like being a rebel. We're gonna get attacked again, and I'm not gonna listen to anyone. Kudos if I equal the goal. The goal is 20. Two data points form a line, the three is a pattern. The colony has been on high alert all goal, hoping that the creatures from beyond the wall don't return for a third year in a row. Surveyors keep reporting that they're seeing unusual animal activity. Even the plants seem different. They say, and new tracks that must have been left by creatures larger and heavier than they've seen. You and the other colonists drill activation times. You're in class when the sirens start to ring. The other kids fall to an alert hush. This is one of the assembly points, so you should be safe here. But if it wasn't so safe here for Professor Howe, what if the creatures get in? Grace, the new teacher, is just a face on the computer screen. She can't protect anyone. Gurns flickers cheerfully. Please stay calm, children, she says. The defense squad is already en route to the creatures. This should all be over soon. You've been told this before. As the sirens continue, you're faced with a choice. Stay put or leave. Yeah, time to play hero again. You stand up and leave. Tang and Mara stare at you like you have three heads. Gurns doesn't try to stop you. Not that she could. She doesn't even have any hands. You slow to a walk as you near the outer doors of engineering. Something doesn't feel right. You stop to listen in the dim emergency lighting and hear metallic plopping of something overhead. In the ventilation ducts, your blood goes cold. Monsters. They're here. You follow the sounds to a workshop and force yourself to look up through the slats of the vent. You gasp. 2 glistening? Bug-like eyes peer down at you. No. 4? 6? They blink syncopated pairs. Then you hear it over the sirens. A soft pinging noise halfway between a chirp and a purr. The creature skitters spider-like form from one side of the vent to another. A small furry tentacle slithers through the slats, searching the vent for release. When it can't find one, it bangs its body against the inside of the vent, denting the metal. Attack it. Try to scare it away. Tame it. Can't tame it. Help it escape. Seems like the right thing to do. You open the side door, then the vent, and carefully shoo the creature outside. It runs over the outer wall, flattens the body, and burrows through a hole. At least you figured out how it got in. Maybe you'll see the little guy out in the wild someday, and you'll remember what you did for it. It isn't long before the sirens turn off, ringing 3 short syllables as the all-clear message passes on your holocom. You and the children file out of engineering, and you head back down to your quarters. Your parents will want to know that you're safe. Your dad gives you a big hug, but your mom slumps into your seat at the small table. It's like they are going specifically for geoponics this time, she mutters, but your dad pets your hair as you shushes her. I'm sure it was just bad luck flew about, he says, but your mom shakes her head and folds her hands in front of her mouth, staring out of the porthole in the windows. Alright, start of a new year. This seems as good a time as any. No one dies, it's not even in cliffhangers. So I am going to save and quit at this point. Alright. I think I'm alone right now, but that's fine. Someone might watch this later. I hope my reading wasn't too bad. There was definitely times where my mouth was getting a bit dry in the middle of reading, and it got a lot harder to read, so that was a fun thing. I need to pace my drinking better. But I had fun doing this for the most part, so I hope anyone that was watching had fun too. I'll try to stream next Wednesday, and over on YouTube, I'll be posting a new video tomorrow. Hope everyone stays well and has a great day.